kıray keldedi. Ortasına dalayay selahan. Sarsam mavrun akkuman. Aktasaka ney alkahan. Ağaları yedi av aman bol. Geldim nede bay şaşırda. Şengillerim de bareda. Podaday kuzer av jaynahan.
Almanılarım de bareda. Sügürde ağamay geldi de. At çaptırıp tav aygayla be. Hey suyunca soğanı uyelende. Taratkan emenin alttan kımdı. Arısı baydağı işerime. Jürüp bizler jigittere. Hey şırtında bergene yücelenne. Hey dari dari hey. Dari dari hey. Dari dari hey. Hey dari dari hey. Dari dari hey. Dari dari hey.
Gelinlerim de bareda. Kaynağa keley degende. Didarını kalayday küremde be. Hey ağızdan turbay bolcagan. Kurbanlarım da bareda. Sızılıp da dalayday silagan. Onlar keçey kurdas leba. Hal dalay bir jadı kıynagan. Kızlarım da bareda. Şaygıyıp berbey atamның. Bәkti қасынай алам de be. Hey қыпшада deli kayıstan.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Bulwan Sholak Sports Palace, Almaty, Kazakhstan. 6 bouts of live boxing brought to you this evening by Mtk, culminating in Sultan Zorbek versus Ronnie Clark for the vacant WBO European Super Featherweight strap. Arman Mominov is the MC this evening and he's ready to get the first bout in the ring. At least he will be shortly. So while we wait for him to get this show on the road, we will get ours. Barry Jones is alongside me. Barry Jones, half a dozen really interesting bouts to get our teeth into this evening. Great to see you.
Yeah, nice to be back. And it's even though the top of the bill is Zabak versus Ronnie Clark, which is a very intriguing fight, it's Kalukmatu we're all really looking forward to. He's had such a wave since he turned pro. But anyway, we're about to start. Here we go.
In America, Canada, and on IFL TV worldwide. And we're glad to welcome all of you from Almaty, Kazakhstan. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum! So, this evening, organized by Mtk Kazakhstan in association with Mtk Global and Top Rank, and sponsored by ALT University, Round 10, Gold Sapa and Buka. Ladies and gentlemen, boxing event is served by Paul Tuzinde, Almaty, Kazakhstan, Baurjan Iskakov, Aqtobe, Kazakhstan, Yerbol Nurushev, Shymkent, Kazakhstan, Dinmuhamed Abayhan, Kızılorda, Kazakhstan, Tilek Manap, Yesek, Kazakhstan, Dulat Bazarbayev, Turkestan Region, Kazakhstan, Timekeeper, Aybek Sharapatov, Almaty, Kazakhstan, Dr. Ashat Zulkarnaila, and Inspector Mariam Muhammadjan. Ladies and gentlemen, referees, judges are ready. Boxers are ready. Are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, first out, and let's me invite two boxers. Introducing you first, a red corner. Please welcome Arman Respect!
Armin Respect, the first man into the ring this evening, fighting out of the red corner. 30 years of age, born in Almaty. So this is a home fight for him. Resides these days though in Kissimmee, Florida. Made his pro debut in 2018 at the Osceola Heritage Center in Kissimmee and stopped John Morehouse on that day. Then he had 7 wins in 20 months and had 11 months out before returning to beat the 6'1" Belarusian southpaw Mikhail Duhailevich. Before turning pro, had 7 bouts in World Series boxing as well. 5 wins and 2 defeats. Lost on a split decision to GB's Thomas Whitaker Hart, who's currently 5-0 as a pro. Took a round off Cuba's Julio Cesar Cruz as well. But this evening, he's got Doran Yelusinov as an opponent in
Ladies
the
and
blue
gentlemen,
corner.
his opponent, please welcome Doran Yelusinov!
Yelusinov, 35 years of age, also a Kazakh native. But he lives a little bit further north than Rizbek in the United States, resides in Brooklyn, New York. Just his 10th, well 11th bout should I say, as a professional. 11 bouts in 7 years. That's an interesting career to say the least. Made his debut back in December 2014. First round KO of Anthony Duane at BB King's Blues Club in New York. That's not a bad place to make your debut, is it? A little bit more glamorous than some of the venues around the world. But despite being a Kazakh native, this is his first bout in his home country. Just 4 fights since 2016. Most recently was the only defeat of his career, a split decision defeat against Mexico's Juan Carlos Reygosa in August of last year. 96-94, 94-96, 94-96, so a close one. And after a layoff, he'll be desperate to get back to winning ways here in Almaty this evening.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, this is 8th round of professional boxing in super middleweight division. Let me introduce 2 boxers. Introducing you first and fighting out of the red corner. Professional record of the boxer: 7 wins, 1 defeat, 6 wins by way of knockout. Fighting out of Almaty, Kazakhstan. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Arman Razpek. His opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. Professional record of the boxer: 8 wins, 1 defeat, 1 draw, 7 wins by way of knockout. Fighting out of Kazakhstan, Kazakhstan. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Doran Yelusinov. Referee of this bout, Paul Tuzinde.
Gentlemen, you know the rules of professional boxing. You should obey my commands at all times. You should protect yourself at all times. Shake hands and wish you the best.
Paul Tuzinde then giving his final instructions ahead of the first bout of 6 this evening. Arman Rizbek, white trunks, red gloves, against Doran Yelusinov, black trunks, black gloves. 8 rounds scheduled, and we're underway.
That's a lovely uppercut there from Yelusinov, and that's good. He's an aggressive starter. He's not the easiest on the eye at times, and he's also not the hardest target to find when you let your hands go, but he can be aggressive and he can let his hands go quite effectively.
Well, after that early uppercut, Rizbek coming back with a few shots of his own, and then Yelusinov trying to get through with that jab. Neither looking a particularly difficult target to find, as you say, Barry, in these first 30 seconds or so.
No, Yusuf's trying to twist the body there and stay a little bit low, which will help, of course. You know, he's got a little bit of upper body movement, but there sets his feet to throw his shots. But then Rizbek lets his hands go, and Yelusinov's already set and easy to hit again. That's a good left hand there from Rizbek.
Yeah. Yelusinov just getting through with that uppercut again. Plenty of leather flying in the first minute.
Yeah, I think he's riding the shots there, Yelusinov, but they are landing shots, and I just think that if he just put the hands up rather than just try and sway away from the shots, then he'd be far more effective, and he could fire off the blocking.
So for someone like Yelusinov, and it's the case for quite a few of the fighters on the card tonight, when you've had some time out of the ring and you've not been particularly active, what are the kind of things that you want to do well in the early phases?
Well, the problem you have is that you can build off the last win or improve off the last defeat, because it's such a massive gap that it's almost like it's not starting again, but you can't see the improvements that you make in the gym, in the ring. Unless you've stayed in the gym throughout that, which is very highly unlikely, then how do you get any momentum in your career if there's too many big gaps? And especially earlier on in your career, it's okay when you've been to the top of the tree, but to get without that momentum, without seeing being able to base you where you are at world level or not world level, whatever level you're going to be at, then you can't really have success.
Final minute of round 1. Rizbek command in the centre of the ring.
Nice little short hook there from Rizbek as well. It's been competitive, hasn't it? And they both come out throwing leather from the word go.
Well, it's a little bit you go, I go in this first round, isn't it?
Need to come back with the left hand there. Loosen off.
Final 10 seconds then. Reminder from the officials. And Paul Dazinde reminds them of time. And we are 1 round in. A small crowd gathered here this evening at the Bolwan Sholak Sports Palace. How's your Kazakh, Barry?
As good as my English, so useless, but it's you can see that he's just he's trying to get him to throw shots from different angles or fire off when your Lusanov is going low. Obviously that was Rizbek's corner. To fire off some of the movement that the Lusanov's making. So you can see that they want to just change it up a little bit and not be that stationary target that they both were, really, to be honest, in that first round.
Round 2. Rizbek again. First to the centre of the ring. And Yelusinov again, the first to fire shots.
That's nice. Even though the body shots didn't really land as well as he would have wanted to, but he fired off it at the end. And I think that's sometimes that one extra punch he needs in a combination. Yelusinov, and he found it then in those last 2 combinations he threw the extra shot.
Yeah, about 30 seconds of solid work there for Yelusinov, and you wonder if after this period of time out of the ring, whether or not that work rate will drop off as the fight continues.
And that's another thing you lack confidence in sometimes, is even if you're fit in the gym, sometimes you lack it in the ring because it's nervous energy and you're more tired than you should, and sometimes you need to push through that little barrier. Even in early in a fight, you get the initial getting into the ring to sort of drain a lot of energy with the nerves, and then you just push through that before you can really settle down. And when you're not regular in fighting in regular, then you can sometimes lack the confidence in your conditioning more than fitness.
Yelusinov attempting a few of those body shots around the corner. Rizbek doesn't look too troubled by the power in this second round.
It's a good left hand to start that off. That little combination off there from Rizbek, and he looks strong, doesn't he, Rizbek? He's slow, methodical, but strong. Again there, the better shots landed from Yelusinov, but Rizbek holds them and lets his hands go. It's a nice shot. And again there, Yelusinov, lovely body shot.
Yeah, Rizbek with those high hands, he is leaving those gaps around the outside. Yelusinov looking to target them, but Rizbek coming back with some shots of his own. Final minute of round 2.
There's some do the shorts, maybe just a little bit lower towards the little abdominal protector. Don't see what the issue there was, to be honest. I think the referee kind of pulled up with the back in action. I just think for Lusanov, he gets nice and low, and and with that, you get a better angle of attack. And I just think he could possibly try and push Rysbek back, or stay close and pivot on that front foot and get a different angle of attack. He's rolling the shoulders, but there's no real thought behind it. And that's why when Rysbek gets close, he blocks and fires back and always finds the target there. But I do think that for this round, it's been a bit better here for Lusanov.
Have gone through, despite the high hands. Two rounds in, there's some pretty heavy breathing there. That's a heaving chest.
Yeah, it's not great, but not always an issue. Because as long as you can recover, the problem is when you're not active, you keep going on about it, mentally you lack confidence. If you're tired enough, you don't want to put your foot on the gas if he needs to. You've got to trust the process and trust that you have that, you have that in your locker to push through the tired moments in a fight.
Some of the highlights around two there. Nice right hand from Rysbek. And Lusanov staying low.
Too low, actually. There's ducking and diving and dipping, but I think actually dipping below the waist is something that should be pulled up by the referee.
Round three, Lusanov has been keen to start fast in the opening two. Rysbek again. They dominate the centre of the ring. Lusanov. Well, there's a little bit of movement. I'm not entirely sure how.
He's the more athletic of the two. I think you can clearly see that, and I think there's nothing wrong with the movement. I don't think there's any thought behind it. He dips over, but I don't think there's anything behind it. So, if he holds his feet, he stays there. He's a target to get hit most of the time. That was better from him there. He actually dipped and stayed low and just did a little second dip. Just let the shot go over the head.
So with Rysbek, the way he walks forward, would you like to see him put a little bit more pressure on?
Well, the walking forward, I guess, is the pressure. But I think, with the hands, I understand that. Yeah, I think sometimes, they just... I don't think like a real fast flurry, but 3 or 4 straight shots right down the line. Because you just want to hit something. That's a good uppercut there from Lusanov again. With the left hand. Shot.
Then Rysbek returns a few. I was tempted to use the word flurry, but I'm not sure the shots were quick enough to be a flurry.
And nothing's trouble. He's been hit with some good shots here, Rysbek. Nothing's troubling him at all, so that's why he's happy to walk forward. And if he's not fully blocking, he's partially blocking most of the shots. And the body shots, only 3 rounds in, they haven't really affected him, though. Lusanov let go with some good body shots. That's a bit of a bounce step there. See, with that bit of a bounce, just can get a little more acceleration in some of your work. But all the noise came from Lusanov, but I think the better hook was the right hook from Rysbek.
Lusanov really tried to wind up that right uppercut then, but just off the gloves of Rysbek.
Good response there, isn't it, from Rysbek as well.
He's certainly ending the round the stronger, our man Rysbek. And a touch of gloves takes us to the end of round 3. And perhaps this one starting to settle in now. The pace certainly not set in the world of light, but it's a competitive bout.
No, I think they're slower hand than feet, but I think the pace is, you know, is quite competitive and quite hard, to be honest. It'll be interesting now who tires the first, and I think that's where the big sway will come and who has the most success. Because neither one looks like has the power to trouble the other one, even though they're all heavy-handed. There's no acceleration of the punches to really shock anyone with some of the work.
Yeah, and when they're taking those punches, they're all quite well set, aren't they? They've got flat feet firmly on the ground.
Yeah, and also you get used to a weighted shot. If it's the same pace every time you get hit with it, it's never comfortable, of course. But you can get used to it, and then it doesn't have the effect that's required. But sometimes with a little bit of acceleration in the punches, a little change of pace, that can have a big difference. The shock factor, the whip in a shot.
Round 4, Rizbek versus Yelusinov. Here at the Balwan Sholak Sports Palace in Almaty, the first of 6 bouts on this card, brought to you by MTK. Thanks for joining us wherever you're watching around the world. Arman Rizbek against Oren Yelusinov. And if this is the first round you're watching, the previous 3 have looked a lot like this. Your go, my go. Oh, nice shot there, though, from Yelusinov. Single shot, though, and Rizbek gets those hands high to wrap up again.
So, I mean, when Yelusinov, he gets nice and low, throws that jab to the body, has success with it, but he's getting low. That's when you got to double that jab up and come back with the left hand. You've made the movement, you made the effort to go low to get a different angle of attack. And you need to commit to that cause then, and so the jab to the body, jab up, and then follow through the nice long left hand. It's a good jab to there from Yelusinov again, and a bit more movement from him. Not exactly fleet-footed, but he's throwing and moving, and that's just not allowing Rizbek just to walk on him and fire back as he's been caught.
Oh, nice shot there from Yelusinov as well. Working that uppercut once more. Just swelling around that right eye. We saw that getting some attention in the corner. Yelusinov really starting to get through with that jab now. But as you say, Barry, just not following it up at the moment.
It's been a good round for him so far.
Yeah.
Again, just a little bit more movement around the target. It's just made it a little bit easier for him.
Last minute of round 4, taking us to the halfway point of the 8 scheduled rounds here in this evening's opening bout. Now Rizbek attempting to finish strong as he did in the previous round.
See, when he stops throwing the jab here, Yelusinov, that allows Rizbek to walk up on him. The jab's no served him well so far for most of this round. Don't give up on it now.
Yeah, Yelusinov often first to the jab.
That jab's just not allowing Rizbek to get his feet close.
Много что пройдено, чтобы сдаваться, братан. Все под контролем.
Брат, сдаваться то он идет.
Ты кураж поймал, Кураж поймал. Где мы?
Какой раунд? Впереди.
Music and boxing, what a great combination. But opening the highlights package there, you saw that uppercut there. Yelusinov likes that shot. He's got through it a few times, but the power not really bothered Rizbek, despite the fact that a few have landed cleanly.
No, they haven't, but that wouldn't be my concern because he's boxing quite well, and in that round especially boxed well. But he looks absolutely shattered, and I think he's had to work harder than he's used to. I'm not saying he's used to. He only boxes once every 3 years, but no, that's again. See, that's with that conditioning of being boxing regular. You get used to that, but he hasn't been. He's working hard here, though. To be fair, but there was a worry that he was really blowing, and I don't know what he was saying, but he didn't. He sounded a little bit panicked in the corner. Good left hand there from Rizbek. Again, he's a guy who just needs to let his hands go just a little bit before he gets his feet too close.
Good response. Yulusinov, though, yeah. Trying to get heavy-handed, but it's all coming off the gloves of Rizbek until then.
Oh, it's a solid jab there from Yulusinov.
Oh, a couple of body shots driving into Rizbek. Takes a deep draw of breath before coming back with a right hook of his own. Heavy leather in round 5.
Livening up, isn't it?
There've been various ways of seeing the same pattern, haven't they? Yulusinov starts the round quickly. We're not sure if he's got enough in the tank. Then Rizbek comes back strong. You wonder how much that 30 or 40 seconds from Yulusinov will have taken out of the tank, but he's still doing these heavy... Oh, massive shot! Yulusinov gets through with the uppercut, and Rizbek somehow stays on his feet. Shakes his head and then puts his hands high and walks straight back in. But he's blinking heavy now, Rizbek, and Yulusinov.
He threw that from his ankles, didn't he? Yulusinov, he really dipped down for that shot.
But then Yulusinov slows down himself because all of this work will be taking plenty out of the tank. Another body shot from Yulusinov.
He might be taking himself out of the tank, but you'd rather be the one throwing it than the one taking it.
Oh, yes. Another problem with the shorts gives Rizbek 3 or 4 seconds to try and get some air in the lungs, and Yulusinov...
Well, for a fighter who looked absolutely shattered in the corner, how well is he boxing this round?
Oh, that short left uppercut again, then the jab. Those high hands failing Rizbek at the moment because Yulusinov getting that jab through at will. Best round of the fight so far for the man in black.
Oh, good body shot there from Rizbek, though, lovely. People going, what's the mental factor of the fight plays into play? And it's here, because he's had success and landing some good shots. Yulusinov, as tired as he is, that's giving that extra burst of energy and... Oh, what shot.
2 shots right on the bell there, the left, then the right for Yulusinov to exert some more authority on what is comfortably his best round of the fight. But huge credit to Rizbek. He wore some shots there, goodness me.
He did, and most of them, because he's been used to the pattern of the speed and the weight of the shots. But that one uppercut, that whipping shot, Yulusinov sort of bent his legs, took that from the ankles, and went right through the target. And that sort of not only shook up Rizbek, who took it quite well to his credit, but that drains the energy. And he's looking trouble there with his eye. Going to see the uppercut now, hopefully, from Rizbek. It's a wrong left hand, that would have been one of the causes for the eye. But the best, oh, there it is, look at that. Again, just a little more acceleration of pace in the shot in the previous because he's thrown, and what a difference it was.
Those were the 2 right on the bell as well. So swelling on the right eye of Rizbek. Yulusinov getting towelled off. Oh, has it been waved off?
Yeah, he didn't look too happy in the corner, Rizbek. I think with the right eye maybe closing, and yeah, I think he sort of called it himself, to be fair. Seen the referee. While they were showing the replays, referee went over to their corner to have a word, and I think they said, yeah, we've had enough, ref.
Well, he did take a lot of punishment in what turned out to be the final round, and
never looked hurt, though. He took a lot of punishment, but he never looked really in distress or overly concerned, and whether he's worried about the eye too much, who knows. And You know, sometimes things don't look as bad. They feel worse than they look, maybe. But yeah, I just think that was a hard round in a relatively hard fight, and he had enough.
We saw him blinking pretty heavy. He said he took a lot of shots and he took them well, but we don't know what goes on behind the eyes. And Arman Rizbek does not get off his stool, and Yelusinov gets back to winning ways. And that'll be pleasing for him as well, because we weren't sure what his conditioning was going to be like. It was a bit of a slow start to the fight, and Rizbek was doing some good work, but as the rounds went on, he really did show some quality, Yelusinov. Now we go to Arman Mominov to go through the formalities.
Ladies and gentlemen, retired over age corner on the 5th round. The winner is blue corner, Dorian Kazakhstan.
Congratulations to Yelusinov then. That's his 9th win, 8th before the final bell of his pro career. And his first fight and his first win in his home country as well. So huge congratulations to him. But massive credit to Rizbek as well. Doesn't get off the stool for the 6th round, but how he stayed on his feet after that uppercut.
Well, it was again. It wasn't helpful either, but I think it was a hard pace. They were both, both there to be hit, quite comfortable to be honest, and when they let their hands go, and every time it looked like Yelusinov would start fast, and had obviously the better, more athletic skills. Rizbek would just walk through him, get close, and at the end of the round, then he would let his hands go and have success and make those rounds. Some of those rounds he won, so made it interesting. But ultimately, then, as quite often in a boxing match, quality prevails, and I think that's what happened. That beautiful uppercut, and what I like about Yelusinov is he looked absolutely shattered in the corner. Came out, had his best round, was really busy, used the jab, which really worked for him well. Even though it was the uppercut was the shot that you're going to remember, the jab just kept Rizbek from really being able to get close enough to let his hands go. Yeah, and I think he just beat the fight out of him in that last round. He really did.
Well, an entertaining fight to open the show as well. Plenty of punches thrown, plenty of talking points as well. Still 5 bouts to come on this evening of live boxing, brought to you by MTK. Small crowd gathering as well. Brilliant to see spectators back at sporting events all over the world. Of course, stick with us because we have that title fight later. The vacant WBO European Super Featherweight strap is up for grabs. Rightfully pointed out, we're very much looking forward to seeing Kulak Metsu. But next up it is Ivan Dichko versus Denis Bakhtov, the vastly experienced Russian against the undefeated Kazakh. 9 fights, 9 knockouts for Dichko. Double Olympic medalist. But this a very, very tough test for him against the man known as Darth Vader. Final preparations. Heavy take going on those heavy hands.
The changeover looks like the back of a truck, of all places.
In this modern world and this new normal, we'll take whatever we can get. Great to see live boxing back.
He looks up fit, doesn't he? Full of energy. And he'll need that because he's a tall order, isn't he?
Well, quite literally a tall order, 6'9". Over 300 professional rounds, 58th pro bout. Still doing it in his 40s, but they are made of pretty stern stuff, these Russians. But he was of Kazakh descent, so it's a homecoming for Bakhtov as well. That's the belt that's up for grabs later, the vacant WBO European Super Featherweight strap. Zorbek versus Clark. Two very hungry fighters. One will go home fed. But lots of great entertainment to come from the Balwan Sholak Sports Palace before then. And Arman Mominov, our MC, is ready to bring the fighters into the ring for the second bout of the evening. Ivan Dichko versus Denis Bakhtov.
Introducing first and a red corner. Please welcome representing Russia, Denis Bakhtov.
Here is Denis Bakhtov, then 41 years of age. We talked about his opponent being 6'9". They will look like two very different shapes of human being in the ring. Just a shade under 6 foot for Bakhtov. Born in Karaganda, Kazakhstan, but now fighting out of St. Petersburg, Russia. Career spanning over 2 decades. He made his debut in September 1999 as a first-round KO in Moscow. Former WBC International Heavyweight Champ. He won that vacant belt, stopping Alexander Vasilev in the 8th round back in 2001. Amazing to think that was 20 years ago. The many names on his 57 fight CV. Anthony Joshua was on there. Second round stoppage for AJ back early in his career. Took 2 years out between 2015 and 2017. He's boxed 7 times since then, and not one of those fights has gone the distance, so expect him to come in and bang. This is his first outing since 2020. A lot of these fighters, it's just great to see them back in the ring, get to see live boxing, and as always, Mtk bringing you great fight nights. So Denis Bakhtov, blue trunks, red gloves, fighting out of the red corner this evening, bringing all of the experience.
Ladies and gentlemen, and his opponent fighting out the blue corner. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ivan. This is 8th round of professional boxing in heavyweight division. Let me introduce 2 boxers. Introducing you first and fighting out Out of the red corner, he's a well-known in amateur and professional boxing world. Professional record of the boxer, 39 wins, 18 defeats, 26 wins by way of knockout. Burning in Karaganda, Kazakhstan, fighting out of St. Petersburg, Russia. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Denis Bakhtav. Introducing his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. He is a two-time bronze medalist of Olympic Games, three-time medalist of World Championship. He is an Asian amateur champion. Professional record is a perfect one. 9 wins, no losses. 9 wins by way of knockout. Fighting out of Mtk Kazakhstan. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ivan Mtk. Referee of this bout, Paul Tuzinde.
Gentlemen, I want tackling fight from both of you. You should obey my commands at all times. You should protect yourself at all times. You shake hands, I wish you the best.
Bakhtav v Ditchko, 8 rounds scheduled. But I'll be as surprised as anybody if it goes that far. 2 men with very heavy hands at very different stages of their career. Ditchko. Oh, look at the height differential. 6'9" he's registered as Ditchko.
And he uses it as well because for the most part he sits on that back foot and he just peppers you with the jab. So he doesn't really throw a solid left hand. He encourages you to come forward. But because he sits on that back foot, it means you got to leap in. And then that's when he gets you with that right hand.
And that's the first time we've seen the right hand there, just snatching through, and then again Bakhtav doesn't want to wear too many of those. Solid jab from Ditchko as well.
He just stepped into it, didn't he? It was a good shot.
Oh, and again.
Thing is, when you it's a lovely left hand there from Ditchko. When you have power, you make the guy feel it early. And it just makes him second guess every movement, so it just slows him down, makes him overthink stuff.
Oh, well, that's the right hand from Ditchko. And the referee Tuzinde removes the gum shield, and that is over.
What a right hand, right on the button again. You see, he doesn't. When he wants to throw that right hand, he steps in with the left jab, solid left jab. But when he wants to throw that right hand, he just softens up that left hand, almost encourages you to either drop your guard or to come forward. And there, just touch him with the left hand and just turns from the waist through that right hand, right through the guard. Great shot.
Well, great to see Bakhtav sat up and communicating because for a second that looked pretty serious. But they're in a rush to get him on his feet here, but he's sat on a stool. And another, well, relatively straightforward outing for Ivan Ditchko. Barely broken a sweat. That's the first time we saw the power.
And let's be honest, it was never going to be a test for him, but he's still got to do it. No, on paper, it's never going to be a test for him. He always looked like he was going to win this and always going to win it by a stoppage or a knockout, but he still has to throw the shot. He still has to set it up, and I think what we like about him and what we've seen so far in previous fights as well is that he gets all his early finishes, he never rushes his work, and that's good to see.
Well, Bakhtav there with a smile on his face. That one lasted just over a minute. Ivan Ditchko just took his time, and as you said, Barry, you still need to do it. It wasn't going to be a difficult night, but set the shot up. It was the first time he tried to throw anything with any kind of power, and he did land it beautifully.
And again, because he never rushes his work, and he has confidence in that height and reach that he has, and he just throws that jab, and every now and again he just step in behind him, make you feel the weight early, make you second guess, slow you down, slow your movers down, because you always have the extra thought process, which more than you need really fast reactions when you're a fighter, and they make you second guess everything you do. It slows you down, gives him more of a landscape to see what he's doing. And then when he throws that soft jab, that's the worry for me. Every time he throws a soft jab, I'd be telling my fighter to cover up and move away, because you know he's setting you up for that right hand. And that right hand was just so perfectly executed.
Huge credit to Paul Tusinde as well. The referee realised how much trouble Denis Baktov was in. Was straight in there, removing the gum shield.
That's right on the button there, isn't it? Throws the jab to the side, to the right side of the face, makes the fighter turn to the left, and then throws that right hand over the top of that low left guard. And again, it's a few little nervous twitches, reactions there that happen sometimes, but Baktov luckily okay. And he's 10-0 with 10 knockouts, and just the heavyweight division, you know, it's the glamour division of the boxing, of course. And when you have a guy who's big and powerful, and you know, and can score knockouts like that, it will endear the armchair fan.
Well, it's interesting to see where he's going to go, isn't it? So he's 10-0 with 10 knockouts now. He's 2 Olympic medals. He's got World Championship medals. Obviously, the very top of the heavyweight division.
Well, what you're doing is this. He's 30, so he's in this climate of sports. He hasn't got to be massively rushed, but also he can't sit on the fence for too long. But what they're doing there now, Joshua's beat this guy. He fights people who good fighters have beaten, and tries to do a better job than you. Obviously, they may be worse than they were then, but I think that's the thing. And every now and again, then you give him a test against a guy who's going to come in, who's genuinely competitive, you know, and then the fringe level. Or they might see him as, listen, he's ready now, let's pull the trigger, as we see so often in modern boxing, and he'll fight a fringe world class contender tomorrow.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, a referee to start the bout in 1 minute of the very first round. Winner by knockout, Mtk.
Well, those are the formalities done. Mtk moves to 10 wins, all 10 via knockout. And with highlights reel knockouts like that, his fan base is going to continue to grow. Denis Baktov shakes his hand, he's up on his 2 feet, and that's the most important thing. Both men going home safe and sound. But that was a blink and you'll miss it, just as we expected it to be. 2 bouts down, still 4 to come here at the Balvon Sholak Sports Palace. Next up, Talgat Shayken versus Alexander Sharonov. Let's have a look at the brief highlights of this heavyweight contest.
Well, there's not much to see. It's obviously, again, it's just, you can watch it all night, can you, that right hand? It's just so, and it's short as well, isn't it? So he turns, the elbow lifts up, he chops down with it, and punches right through the target. It's a lovely shot. And he's moving forward with that right hand as well, so all the weight's behind it. And backed off, unfortunately, you know, trying to get up, but yeah, his legs, his whole body was working against him.
So next up then, Alexander Sharonov against Talgat Shayken. Another Kazakh fighter, much fancied Kazakh fighter, very early in his career. The perfect record, 4 from 4, 2 of them coming before the distance. Sharonov, more experienced, another fighter who's spread those 19 bouts over a number of years, but here's Arman Mominov to get us underway.
Introducing a first, representing a red corner, please welcome Alexander Sharonov.
Alexander Sharonov in the red corner this evening. Coming off the back of 2 losses, Sharonov. Most recently, a majority decision loss in an 8-rounder in May against Alan Abayev. Pretty close on the cards, of course. 75, 78, 77, 75, 76, 76. His last stoppage win came back in December 2018, where he stopped getting so Fonku, Cameroonian road warrior. That was back in December 2018. Just the 2nd time in his career he's ventured out of Russia to box. the last time was a defeat. He was on points though against Ahmed El Masoui. In Antibes that was. Beautiful part of the world, just next to Canberra. So if you ever fancy a trip to the French coast, I would recommend it highly. Alas, Sharonov back in the ring, looking to get back to winning ways. 12 victories. He's had 5 defeats, but he has never been stopped. $118 rounds as a pro. This is 20th fight again. His debut back in 2014, so he spread those 20 fights out.
Opponent in the blue corner. Please welcome Talhat Shaiken.
Talhat Shaiken, just 20 years of age. 4 bouts into this professional career of his. 18 rounds though, so a lot of experience in those 4 bouts. Just 2 wins coming before the final bell. Born and based in Kokshetau here in Kazakhstan. But all of his fights have come here in Almaty. Won his debut bout against a 5-0 undefeated Berekbai Nurembetov. That was a unanimous decision after 6 rounds. That was followed by a first-round stoppage of Bakhrom Payezov. His second knockout came in the next fight. Maxim Shurbanov was stopped in 3 rounds. In February this year, he went 8 rounds and won on a unanimous decision against Evgeny Pavko. This is his first scheduled 10-rounder. Relatively brief amateur career, 21 bouts, 15 and 6 was his record. Boxed at the Youth Olympics. He's turned over and now is in the professional ranks. Of course, 5-0.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is an 8th round of professional boxing in welterweight division. Let me introduce 2 boxers. Introducing you first and fighting out of the red corner. Professional record of the boxer: 12 wins, 5 defeat, 2 draw, 6 wins by way of knockout. Fighting out Magnitogorsk, Russia. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Alexander Sharonov. Introducing his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. He is a finalist amateur youth Olympic Games. He is an Asian Youth Champion Amateur League. Professional record is a perfect one. 4 wins, no losses. 2 wins by way of knockout. Fighting out of Kokshetau, Kazakhstan. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Talhat Shaiken. Referee of this bout, Dulat Bazarbayev.
Боксеры, правила не нарушаем. Слушаем команду. Пожали руки. Удачи.
Dulat Bazarbayev keeping his final instructions to the bare minimum there. Alexander Sharonov against Talhat Shaiken. Really interested in Shaiken. Just 20 years of age, and there are a lot of talented young Kazakh fighters coming through at the moment. Tursanbay Kulakmet is on the card later. He's one that a lot of people have got their eye on to maybe push up to world level, maybe sooner rather than later. Shaiken in the black trunks and white gloves against Sharonov, red on red.
I think he's looked good, Shaiken. We covered a few of his fights, and I think he's looked nice and sharp. He got good judgment of distance. He's always looking to be aggressive without being, crazily stupid. And I think the Pavko win was, for so early in his career, is a really good win. Pavko gave, he was only 1 winner, but he gave Michael McKinson from the UK a difficult night's work. When McKinson was something like about, I can't remember now, something like 14-0 or something. So it was a good and ambitious, and to be fair, it's his first 10-rounder in his 5th fight, where most boxers who are touted are having their first 6-rounder in their fourth or fifth fight. Oh, lovely.
Sharp on that right hand.
Good little pivot off as well. Didn't stay there. Through the shot. Whether it lands or misses, you know, he gets a different angle for retreat or to go again. It's a different attack. It's a nice jab. Good left hand, but before that was a sneaky little forearm as well, just, you know, just to get a little bit of space. So he's obviously learning a few little tricks in the gym.
Sharonov looking to come around the corner himself with the left hand.
Well, he rolled Sharonov there. It was a good roll. That's a good right hand from Sharonov. He rolled, just waited up with tongue, let the left hand go. There was nothing behind it. Good right hander though from Sharonov. I got Shakin's respect.
And through with the uppercut as well. Sharonov quite through the guard, and shots from.
I think you've seen the left hand was a little bit low there with Shakin.
Just the first round, but Shakin does look confident with his shots, doesn't he?
Again, I think, you know, he gets the distance right, judges it, you know, very correctly, very early, and then he can let his hands go then with full confidence. I thought that was a good start from him.
A few range finders early then from both men. For both to be relatively pleased with in that opener, but Shakin probably settled the quicker of the two.
Yeah, he was much better. I think for Sharonov, because he doesn't seem to be heavy-handed at all, to be honest. There's not as much on his shots. He needs to be far busier. I mean, a guy who's maybe heavy-handed, or certainly more technical than you are, so you need a better technique. A little clash of heads there before the right hand landed there from Sharonov. But you have to be busier. When a guy's got more in his locker than you have to sometimes substitute that with work rate.
In that highlights package there, we saw that little forearm that you talked about, Barry, just to put him where he wants him with the left hand.
Yeah, the referee should pull him up really, but, you know, yeah, it's obviously things he's working on, although picking up in the gym around more experienced professionals, just gives you a little bit of space.
Round two.
Good right hand there from Sharonov. That's nice though there from Shakin, a little body shot and then looking for the uppercut with the same hand. Again, though, I'd just like to see him just put a little bit more speed in some of the shots. And he's placing them well, and it's just every shot's the same pace.
A little bit of blood trickling from the nose of Sharonov there. Do you think it might be because he's not worried about what's coming back?
A little bit, but he's always trying, like I've seen his previous fight, he's always looking to be aggressive anyway, so I think with that, unless you've got real good head movement, then you're going to get caught when you're coming forward. Because you're so focused on letting your hands go and you being the aggressor, sometimes they forget the defence. They say a lot of, that's what they say a lot of, like, punchers can't take a punch. It's not that, it's they're coming forward, they're in range to get hit half the time. It's a good jab. For me, he's landed with enough of those. There isn't as much weight behind those right hands there from Sharonov, but he's landed with enough of those now for Shakin to read that, to know that's coming. That's good though. Like, see the little step there out to the right from the southpaw stance, just getting on the foot on the outside there of Sharonov's there, and then be able to land with that left hand on the middle.
Trying to make space for that uppercut as well. And Sharonov, I think, gesturing to the referee that Shakin's moving him with parts of the body he perhaps shouldn't be. dark arts, so they're all part of the game. Nice shot there from Shakin.
Oh, good shot again there, good left hand.
Sharonov wobbled backwards, but I think that was more from a push than a shot from Shakin.
He looks unsteady on his legs, doesn't he? But I'm not sure if that's just him rather than being hurt with the shot. I'm not sure if that's just he's a little bit on his heels when he moves.
He is flat-footed, isn't he? And when he wobbled backwards, he was definitely off balance, but I didn't see a shot that could have done that to him, so it must have been a push, but oof.
He's right there, Sharonov, to complain to the ref.
Yeah, the headlock, then the shot, right on the bell. Tagat Shakin going to physically impose himself on this bout by hook or by crook. And we're 2 rounds in.
Спокойно, бәрі жақсы көрді ма, бака ұрған кезде қалай ұстап алды. Сразу после его атаки.
Let's see if in this some of these best bits we can see the shot that wobbled Sharonov, or if it was a push.
Just seeing the better accuracy here from Shakin, more than anything else. There's more weight in the shots. Nothing's hurting Sharonov, I don't think, really. But he's getting a little bit frustrated with the physical presence and strength of Shakin. And for the young man, it's quite impressive.
Yeah, just 20 years of age, remember, 5th professional bout. To round 3 of what I did believe was a 10-rounder, but it is down as an 8-rounder, so apologies for that.
Yeah, I've got 8 rounds as well, so you're totally wrong. Again. It's a good shot there for Shakin. Again, adjustment of the distance is always fantastic. He knows where he is. And when are you going to let those hands go?
Sharonov again asking referee Dulat Bazarbayev, not getting any change. Did that look low to you?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it was on the waistband, so it depends what the referee has deemed low. But yeah, no, if he hasn't said that waistband is okay, it's a good shot, then it certainly is low.
When they're up close, Shakin does look physically bigger as well, doesn't he?
He looks bigger all round.
Oh, shot from.
There's a head there, wasn't there, maybe?
Yeah. Either way, temporarily stopped Shakin, but he's back on it.
Keep this distance, Shakin. No, just frustrate Sharonov. No, pepper him with shots. Things you can throw plenty of weight behind the punches here, but nothing comes back. You can't. Sharonov can't hit you. You got to overreach. He's got to commit himself, and then you get him. Then. Oh, it's lovely. Lovely movement.
Yeah, confidence has gone up a notch in this round from Shakin.
Well, except for the odd cameo of a single shot here from Sharonov, it's good movement again there from Shakin. The move didn't quite come off, but the change in direction of the feet. Showing some good imagination. Shot. And a good left hook to the body there from Sharonov.
Yeah, it's been a good response from a 30-second purple patch from Shakin. Come to the end of the 3rd.
They've clashed heads about 4 times already, and in these first 3 rounds here.
There's a bit of blood on the shoulder there of Sharonov, isn't there? I can't see where that's come from though. I wonder if one of them's picked up a cut in one of those clashes of heads. Yeah, but 3 rounds in, particularly in that round, Barry, some nice movement from Shakin, making Sharonov miss, and it's eye-catching stuff as well. Early in your career, it's all about getting the fans on board and getting the wins, and boxing fans like to see that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, he's boxing really well there. So lovely movement there. You know, I think probably went a little bit too far. If you want to be overcritical, he couldn't really attack with any sort of fluency back. But it was lovely movement to the front foot with the pivot, and I think he's picked his punches really well in that round. He was being aggressive and then decided to move on get on his bike a little bit, create a bit of space, and trying to let Sharonov come forward so he could fall short with the shots and pick him off with those straight counters.
Here we are then, round 4, Alexander Sharonov against Talgat Shakin. The third bout of 6 scheduled here this evening from the Balwan Sholak Sports Palace in Almaty, Kazakhstan.
Nice there, partially blocked by the movement and the idea from Shakin there to throw that uppercut from distance, but then moving the feet at the same time to get on the outside. It's like seeing, oh, good shot. Again, it's that right hand. It's the only shot he has success with, Sharonov, but it's from out the distance. So really some of the Shakin's ability should be able to read that.
When you step in and throw it the way Sharonov does there, how do you keep your balance to follow it up?
Well, usually with a shot, and that'll put you back online. Or you square your feet and sit down. That's what he's having to do, because he's close enough to the target there that he can hold on to Shakin.
Shakin, who literally pushes Sharonov to the ground.
The uppercut's there for Shakin, but he's got to disguise it with a good shot. A good jab or a double jab, or that maybe the hook off the jab. Then the uppercut's there for him.
Bit more weight in that right hand from Sharonov. And like he was going to start to turn the screw for a second, throws it again.
Just keep throwing it. He sort of lands every time he lets it go. So I think that's the only success he's had. Keep working it. Good shot, for both there.
And a minute to go in this 4th round. All of a sudden it's gone up a notch. Sharonov trying to land that left hand to the body, then following it up with the right uppercut. And Shakin tries to bully him onto the ropes. This, the round of the fight so far. Shakin finding it so easy to just push Sharonov around.
Gotta be careful though. This is the 2nd time now he's been warned. Now the referee's tuned into that now. That'll be something that he'll get picked up on every time he does it. There's a good little response there from Sharonov, and I think that just ignited the fire under Shakin for a little bit. But you got, for a young man, it's important to keep your head, keep your cool, keep your composure, and keep doing what's working for you.
Well, a good response from Sharonov in the 4th round after Shakin danced around him in the 3rd. And something to be said about Shakin. Sometimes these young fighters, intimidated is the wrong word, but they're perhaps not full of that ring confidence, but he is. He's trying to get away with a few things that maybe he shouldn't. He's not scared to push Sharonov into the parts of the ring he wants in, show his physical dominance outside of the actual boxing. Confident young man.
Yeah, there's a bit of maturity to his work, let's be honest. I think he's using the forearm and a few little things like that, and also confident to stick to his plan. When he gets caught with a few shots, he's still trying to be aggressive, but he is getting caught with the right hand he's winning the fight, to be honest, but he's getting caught with the right hand too often, and to get caught with shots is not always an issue, because that, you can't have a bath without getting wet, they say, but also to get caught with the same shot time after time, then that shows a naivety and also maybe an awareness that you should have that, to keep aware of what's coming back. You're not always going to be the dominant force in a fight. Sometimes you have to work into it or find another way around it. So, using that, engaging that brain about defence when you are attacking is something that will bode him well as his career goes on. In these sort of fights now, you get away with it. But he's boxed well. I think he's boxed really well. Smart. He's been sharp. He's up against a guy who takes a good shot, fires back at the right places so he doesn't get overawed here, Sharonov.
Yeah, needed a response after that third round and gave it, did Alexander Sharonov. But again, shaking, getting back to that throwing and moving, making himself a little bit more difficult to hit.
Dipped the shoulder a little bit there, Sharonov just couldn't get the punch off. Just using his feet more here, isn't he? Shaking, and that's just slowed the pace down a little bit.
Well, we've seen the different sides of him in this bout. We've seen the bully that likes to push Sharonov around. As you rightly pointed out in the earlier rounds, he was making himself a bit too easy to hit with that right hand, a lot less so in this fifth round.
A little bit pivot around the body there, just for the southpaw stance, so makes Sharonov have to turn into you.
Oh, he does not look comfortable, Sharonov, at all. The look on his face there.
Rope open, I think. Playing possum, I think he was.
Yeah, came back with that right hand and landed it. That right hand that he likes. And now with the hands though, a little bit of confidence from Sharonov as well.
I just ultimately, I don't think he's making it a little bit awkward there for shaking. I don't think he has the ability to box it. That's a good right hand again.
Right on the bell. Doesn't look like he's going anywhere, Sharonov. And he's obviously a good actor, because the rope-a-dope fooled me as well.
Понимаешь? Ты можешь этот лаки панч неожиданно, но ты его не поймаешь ни один удар. Потому что ты ему даешь как бы дышать, понимаешь? Даешь боксировать. Он будет на ногах уходить, на каждое движение ты должен цепляться. Заставлять его как бы работать. Будет возня, тогда можешь попасть. Понимаешь? А на один удар он его
Again, almost trying to do a Lomachenko there. Use that front hand to move the hand off the target, to let that backhand go or that left hand go in the southpaw stance. It didn't quite come off there for shaking, but again, showing them good movement around the target and just mixing up, boxing a little bit and trying to be a little bit aggressive. And then again, as most rounds, at the end of the round, Sharonov tries to have a little bit of a rally. A little bit too little too late, I feel, but making it seem competitive, even though on the scorecards I doubt it is.
But very useful rounds indeed for Talgat Shaiken as he looks to go up the levels.
Lovely hook. Left hand right hook.
And Mitsu with the uppercut as well, just moves the head of Sharonov. Doesn't quite rock it back, but he certainly have felt it.
I think he's boxing well. You've got to keep reminding yourself he's 20 years of age, and I think he's showing that physical strength. You know, he's going to get stronger, of course, as he matures. But it is quite a mature display from him. He's up against a guy who could be, has shown, he's quite limited, Sharonov, but also, you know, I think tricky, awkward, and he fires back just at the right times. And tough. He's taking some good shots here, Sharonov, and he's going to fire back.
And you say he's limited, but in the 5 defeats in his career, he's never been stopped, and very often these young, talented fighters, they won't be fighting guys with winning records. Sharonov has a winning record. He's beaten some good guys. This is a valuable fight, and still 2 and a bit rounds of this one to go as well.
Again, like the Pavko fight was, this is another fantastic learning fight for him, which really is probably, you know, in most other regions of the world, this fight would have been 3, 4, 5 fights further on before he had a test like this. Or an experienced guy like this, you know, he might have fought an undefeated guy around the same level, the same in the pros, the same sort of, you know, time frame. Maybe a little cut on the
marking
right
on the right eye of Sharonov.
A little Welsh, isn't it? Good body shot there, nice long left hand from Shakin. No, he's boxed well. I think he's boxing really well.
Another good round in the bank from Talgat Shaken.
He kept Sharonov really quiet in that round. The first time Sharonov had one sort of semi-sustained attack.
Либо раз-два ложный килл, третий зарезать. Хорошо? На 2 этажа, на 2 этажа. Другой воды. Хорошо.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's taking a huge amount of punishment either, does he? Slight mark on the forehead, that's about it, but that
Again,
shot there.
to be honest, the only criticism would be that, you know, that he's too easy to do it with the right hand, or not even that he's too easy to hit with the right hand, that he's been consistently hit with the right hand and hasn't adjusted to it. That would be my only criticism. Apart from that, I think he's boxed really well. Trouble with the jaw there, looks like, for Sharonov.
Well, another warning from Dulat Bazarbayev. For both men, and then Shaken comes straight out of the blocks. Does do some good tidy work. Just a few feints there, trying to create that opening. Periodically, really looks like he wants to line up that big shot.
But again, that's another thing you're going to like about him, because he's always looking to be aggressive. Even when he's boxing, he's always looking to get back to when being the dominant force. And also, he's dictated the pace from the offset. It's been his pace, he's pushed it. And even when Sharonov has looked to rally back, Shakin's still been there looking to push him back after that. Good shot there from Sharonov.
Shaken wore it well though. It's that right hand again that he likes. We are 7 rounds in now.
Oh, good shot there from Shaken. Oh, lovely shot. Right hook.
7 rounds into the bout, would you have expected Shaken to take action? To try and...
Oh, he's hurt him. He's done.
Well, he's wrapping up his Sharonov, but Shaken just biding his time here.
He got caught with an uppercut there and almost turned his back there, Sharonov. I think he got a problem with his jaw. He's done. He's finished.
Might well be, you know. He's gone to the corner.
Yeah, I think I said in the corner he was like, he had a problem with his jaw. He knew it before he went out. He knew he had a problem with his jaw before he went out for that last round, and he got caught with a left hand, I think it was.
Well, that is the confirmation. Tulat Bazarbayev waves the fight off. Targat Shaken gets his 3rd stoppage victory in his 5th professional bout. That is a measured performance. And that is the 1st stoppage of Alexander Sharanov's career. His 6th defeat, the first time that defeat has come before the final bell. Barry Jones, your thoughts? Targat Shaken, 20 years of age, you've mentioned that a few times. Professional performance, maybe a little bit too easy to hit with the right hand, but a lot of positives.
Again, when you're being aggressive, you're always going to be easy to hit because you're the one pushing forward and you've sort of like neglect defence because you've been trying to be so offensive. Yes, that you see there, the right hand, and I think he only had a problem with that jaw going into that last round, and yeah, that was it. You didn't want to know. I don't think the referee spotted it too early.
No.
Sharonov, retiring himself with too much pain for him to continue. I thought it was a good performance. I really do. From the offset, he planted his flag at the centre of the ring, tried to push Sharonov back from the offset. Landed some lovely shots. He got fantastic judgment at distance. They were heavy-handed without being a massive punch. Heavy-handed. Can use his feet. See the way he spins around the target. Can get on his toes a little bit. He'll generate some space in the ring before he re-engages. There's the one little criticism I had, and I'll go on about that all the time because it was a good performance from him.
Now, disappointing for Sharonov. Was competitive for a long time, but yeah, just feeling of the jaw there. From the moment that final shot landed, his right arm went up in front of his face to say, I don't want to know anymore. He looked to the referee to try and wave the fight off, but in fairness, when he realised the referee wasn't, gave an attempt at least to fight on. Alas, the referee did the right thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee Bazarbayev stopped the bout in 1 minute 53 seconds of the round 7. Win by TKO Targat Shaken!
Targat Shaken. Remember that name, because I've got a feeling there are going to be a number of Kazakh fighters taking the world stage by storm, and maybe this young man might be one of them. Certainly got an eye-catching skill set. Now he's got an undefeated record of 5-0.
Yeah, I think he showed, he showed a little bit of pace in his work that he hadn't shown in previous fights, and I think he's an improving fighter who's having a pretty steep learning curve as well. Let's be honest, this was another test after the Pavko test, and I think they're looking to move more faster. You can see why. He's 20, he has physical strength, that belies his young age already. He holds a good shot, as we see with those numerous right hands, especially in the first 3 rounds he got hit with. But he has that natural instinct to want to get in the pocket, to want to push you back, to want to hurt you. But then also showing he has that fleet-footedness, that guile to get around different angles around the ring, and throw punches from different angles and make you think and make you look for the target. But ultimately it was the work rate, the tempo, controlling the pace of the fight throughout, and just the accuracy in his work that caused the injury, and then ultimately the stoppage there for Shaken against a guy who maybe was beatable on paper, It was looking like on paper he was going to go the distance. It was a hard fight, a puzzle he had to solve, and I think he did that tremendously well tonight.
That's the moment where the fight ended. He was trying to go back to his corner, but Shaken was having none of it. He wanted to finish the fight in style, but this was the moment where his hand was raised and he moves to 5-0. 3 fights down, 3 to go here. Next up, Issa Shaniev against Nurtas Azbenov. Live from the Balwan Sholak Sports Palace, and here's Arman Nominal.
In the lightweight division, to the red corner of the ring, we invite the boxer representing Russia. Please welcome Issa Shaniev.
Another Russia versus Kazakhstan encounter this evening. Issa Shaniev, born and raised in Russia. 115 pro rounds for Shaniev, made his debut back in 2015. Won his first title contests between January 2015 and December 2016, so was very busy in those first few years of his pro career. Early success as a young man, he won the vacant IBF Youth Super Feather against Rima Matsuda. That was in his 10th bout. First defeat came in his next bout, 12-round unanimous defeat against Fedora Papazov in Riga. That's the IBF Intercontinental belt.
Как горит в огне все сильнее. Это не значит быть в войне. Пацан простецкий, сейчас золный подец. Крушу всю нечисть, как Антон Городецкий.
14 victories from his 17 pro bouts, 3 defeats, just the one stoppage. Been in the ring yet in 2021, his last bout was in July 2020. Was a good point Minsk, comprehensive on the cards as well, 1993, 1994, 1992, and now they get time is 11-1. Good victory indeed for Issa Shaniev.
Жизнь течет меж пальцев, как песок. Близок эпилог, я рифмую, не жалея строк, хоуми. Не все вокруг твердят, что за нелепость, что за слепость. Никто еще не брал эту крепость, но я знаю точно.
Ladies and gentlemen, his opponent fighting out the blue corner from Kandagash, Kazakhstan. Please welcome Nurtas Azbenov.
Nurtas Azbenov in the Golden Gloves this evening, undefeated, 11 from 11 for the 5'7" southpaw. Just the 4 stoppage wins though, 52 rounds in those 11 bouts. Born and raised in Kandagash, Kazakhstan. He's been pretty active since that debut in 2018. His first 3 bouts though, East London at York Hall, wins over Eligio Palacios, Antai Nakic and Reynaldo Cajina. Before heading to your neck of the woods, actually, Barry, he beat Chris Adaway in the Vale Sports Arena in Cardiff. All over the United Kingdom, beat Boris Shikanov in Newcastle.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is 10th round of professional boxing in lightweight division. Let me introduce 2 boxers. Introducing him first and fighting out of the red corner. He is IBF Youth World Champion, WBO European Champion, IBF International Champion. Professional record of the boxer, 14 wins, 3 defeats, 6 wins by way of knockout. Fighting out of Nazran, Russia. Please welcome Issa Shaniev. Introducing his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, he is WBC Asian Champion. Professional record is perfect 1. 11 wins, no losses, 4 wins by way of knockout. Fighting out of Kandagash, Kazakhstan. Please welcome Nurtas Azbenov. Referee of this bout, Paul Tuzinde.
Gentlemen, I want a clean fight from both of you. You have to obey my commands at all times. You have to protect yourself at all times. Shake hands, I wish you the best.
Well, Paul Tuzinde, the man in charge of this one. He's had a busy evening already. Some great refereeing to remove the gum shield of Denis Baktov, and he was in quite some difficulty. But two much smaller men in the ring this time. Isa Chaniev and Nurtas Ashbenov. Ashbenov in the gold gloves, Chaniev in the red.
Again, another test for another young fighter. Ashbenov here, who's a lovely thinker, good mover. He's up against a guy here with a bit of experience and box at a good level. And beat a couple of good kids as well. So, you know, he's going to get another new test for him, and another step up, and a step up in the right direction. He's going to have to show a little bit more than he has in the past here, Ashbenov.
Well, Ashbenov giving away a couple of inches in height, but looks a great shape at the weight. He's boxed here at the Balawan Sholak Sports Palace before, back in December 2019. On an 8-rounder against Landy Chris Leon. Oh, and he's already calling Chaniev on.
He'd be pleased with that, Chaniev, even though he didn't really land with anything of note. The fact that Ashbenov was looking to hold on, but he was physically not strong enough to stop Chaniev from getting through.
Chaniev getting that forearm to work, trying to rough up Ashbenov. But it's Ashbenov who's getting the warnings again.
That's fair enough, yeah, because you still got, no, I think it's Ashbenov who is going in with the head, but you have got to watch one Chaniev player for use of the forearm. That's a good left hand. Just got to keep creating that space here, Ashbenov. It's important for him. Again, a good move, a good thinker, lovely skills.
They've both come to dance, haven't they?
Well, Chaniev would have watched him and known that he's not going to be able to go boxing from range. He's got to get close. It's a little bit low there. Ashbenov there with that left hand. Just needs a little bit more on that jab. Ashbenov, it's a good jab. Find the range with it, just a little bit more on it to keep Chaniev up from walking through it.
Oh, what a shot! Left hand from Ashbenov. With a few seconds of the first round to go. And after some pretty hefty exchanges, Ashbenov's on the money, but Chaniev on his feet. He's sent to the neutral corner. So, goodness me. Just before that shot landed, I was about to comment on what a pace the first round was. Difficult to separate the two until Ashbenov lands that shot with a few seconds of the round to go.
I think Ashbenov was landing with a cleaner work, throughout, but Chaniev was making it hard for him, and I think he was right to close the gap. You try and use the old man him a little bit more physical strength, but he was getting caught coming forward. He was taking the shots. He takes a good shot. That's a whipping left hook there from the southpaw stance there from Ashbenov. And Chaniev does really well because he's throwing as well, so he's moving into the shot. To be fair, man, he jumps straight back up and look at the fight again. The referee gives him a really long standing 12 count. Wasn't quite a standing 8, was it? It was a long, plenty of time to recover, and the bell saved him. But that was a great shot, fantastic.
Watch Ashbenov here as well, making the eye contact, letting him know exactly how good he felt that shot was. But to be fair to Chaniev, should I say, drops to the knee, puts the glove down, then he was straight back on his feet. Well, how does Chaniev start this second round now. Still looks like he wants to chase Ashbinov round the ring.
He has to, because if he sits back and he's just going to get picked apart and outboxed, so he has to come forward. We understand the confidence might be lacking a little bit that he's been caught with a good shot.
It's interesting when you look at a record like Ashbinov's, though, and you see that he's 11 wins from 11 fights with only 4 stoppages. Sometimes there's the misconception that these guys can't punch.
Yeah, sometimes it's a case, they're landing with good shots, or they're sitting on the laurels, or they're just comfortable to. Once they win, because a lot of these kids are top class amateurs, so you win a round, so it's almost like a computer scoring in your brain. So you've done enough, and then you dance around, you float around, you've done enough to win this round. Not taking punches back is more important. And also a good shot, so you haven't got to be a puncher to land a good shot. I couldn't punch to save my life, but I put people down with left hooks.
Oh, good shot there from Shaniev. Doesn't seem too affected by the knockdown, Shaniev.
He didn't from the offset, to be honest. He jumped straight back up, didn't he? He was looking at the fight, but the tactic is to make Ashbinov work and tire him out, and and obviously try and get the dividends in the later rounds, you would imagine. Oh, good left hand there. But to be honest, yeah, he got a warn Shaniev for throwing the shots as well after the break, but he is if you dipping below the waist, your head's going below the waist, then you're going too low. Good shot there from Shaniev.
And even if you do feel like you're winning the fight as Ashbinov just throws one in the clinch there. Paul Tuzinde, the referee, has got his work cut out with these two. But even when you are winning the fight, if you've got an opponent who just keeps walking towards you.
You know what, it's like a lottery here when they're both throwing the left hand for Ashbinov and the right hand there for Shaniev. It's literally who lands first.
As always, great entertainment here on this MTK Fight Night. Ashbinov dropping Shaniev at the end of the first round and 15 seconds to go in the second, and anything could happen as Shaniev comes in again.
Lovely left hand there from Shaniev, lovely shot. And again, off, and again. Just taking a half a step out when he throws the shot. What a finish to the round that was.
A big smile on the face of Ashbinov, but I don't know how much of that is showbiz, because he took some punishment in that second round and a great response from Isa Shaniev. Barry Jones, I think we've got a fight on our hands.
Cracking shot. Literally, when they set their feet, they're both throwing, the hand, they're both left hands, both from the southpaw stance, and it's literally who lands the cleanest is going to go. And if they continue to do that, as the rounds go on, fatigue sets in, it will literally be who lands first. So committed to it. And again, you just think, you've had a guy down, you've hurt him, and maybe you're in control. But Shaniev recovered quick, came out, really put the pressure back on Ashbinov, just show we're not hurt, I'm physically stronger here, more experienced, and I'm going to push you back.
Round 3 then, with a little bit less gas in the tank. Let's see what this serves up.
No love lost machine in mind, is there? Ashbinov, you knew he hit him though. Trying to get one back there, Shaniev.
It'd be fair to say there's not a huge amount of finesse in this fight at the moment. Oh, massive shot! That is huge from Shaniev! And Tuzinde waves it off. Ashbinov is out for the count, the first defeat of his career, and it's a comprehensive one. They went toe-to-toe for 2.5 rounds, and Isa Shaniev gets up off the canvas to stop Ashbinov in his tracks, and that was a monster shot to finish it.
What a right hook that was. Unbelievable. Out of nowhere. No, out of nowhere at all. What? It's just a whipping shot. Put everything into it. I had to see it again because I didn't see if there was any massive... okay, the left hand was a bit low there from Ashbinov. There's no massive, obvious mistakes because he seemed to be out of distance. Just a beautiful shot. Well timed. It almost snapped his leg, but his leg didn't as he fell backwards. He looks fine now, Ashbinov, to be fair. No, he'll just be absolutely devastated. But what a forward there from Chaniev. You know, to get up off the floor, you know, to get hit with a heavy shot himself in the first round. Got up, recovered quite quick. Pushed Ashbinov back in the second, you know, but they were both, you know, playing lottery really with the power shot there, who's going to land first. But then it wasn't the shot in a position where you thought someone was going to land. It was in the middle of the ring. Look at that. Oh, there's plenty of mistakes there, but either way, he throws that left hand, dips over that right foot, and then to get yourself back on balance, he throws the shot. There you go, get himself back on balance, throws that shot. Loads of whip, acceleration and pace. And with Ashbinov with his low hands there, not looking at the target. You see he's not looking at the target, he's coming to looking at the floor, but he gets hit with that.
Well, you live by the sword, you die by the sword, and if you stand toe to toe like that,
with your hands down close to the target like that after you've thrown a shot, and also throwing those wild shots, and when you put off balance, Chaniev did the right thing. He threw a wild shot, he missed, but he's come back online by throwing another shot. And Ashbinov has, you know, threw a shot, missed, looking to come back online, not throwing a shot, just standing upright, looking at the floor. He gets caught with a beautiful time shot, really well executed there from Chaniev, and gets a showreel finish there for him.
well, it was entertaining indeed. Here's the result. Well, Chaniev moves to 15 professional victories, 7 by way of stoppage. And what a way to do it too. Dropped at the end of the first round, wore that shot incredibly well, and his response, well, as Barry Jones said, that is a showreel knockout. Nurtas Ashbinov moves to 11 victories and 1 defeat. Plenty of positives in his game, maybe. Defence not one of them after that. Dropped his hands and got the lights turned out.
Which just shows that, you know, sometimes you step up in levels, the things you get away with at the lower level, you don't get away with, you know, with guys who have been world level or fringe world level. But it was a great fight from the offset, you know, both committed to the cause. Look at that, you can see why he was full of confidence. That was a lovely whipping shot. And he thought then, and like we all did, that was the maybe spell in the beginning and the end there for Chaniev. Even though he jumped back up and looked fresh, you still think, no, there must be an effect. He thought in the next round, with plenty of pressure on Ashbinov, they made him work hard, you know, made him feel the power and the strength. But then there, in that final round then, that's half a mistake. The guy comes back online with a whipping right hook, and it's all over. Oh, leans back about, just get a little more torque on the shot as well. It's a great shot. Great finish away from home as well.
Alexei Evchenko against Tursinbay Kulakmet up next. And Kulakmet, the young Kazakh, early in his career, but very lofty ambitions as well. Evchenko, the most difficult challenge of his career thus far. 35 professional bouts. And here's Arman Mominov to get him in the ring.
It's time for co-main event of the evening in Super Welterweight division. Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet by the boxers. To the red corner of the ring, please welcome Alexei Evchenko.
Evchenko, 38 years of age, 19 victories, 8 within the distance. 14 defeats, but just 1 stopped early. The draws in there as well. Relatively active. 1 bout this year, 2 in 2020. All 3 have gone the distance. A unanimous decision victory against Viktor Plotnikov in Minsk. A 10-round draw against Asinia Byfield. That was also in Minsk. And and lost to Karen Shadzadzyan in Moscow in February this year. So a winner, draw and a defeat in his last 3 bouts. Former Russian national welterweight champion. WBO European champion as well, but that was over a decade ago. As we always see, these Russian fighters, a stern task for absolutely anyone who steps in the ring with them.
And his opponent, ladies and gentlemen, to the blue corner of the ring, we invite the boxer presented in Kızılorda, Kazakhstan. Please welcome Tursunbay Kulahmet!
Now what of this young man then? Tursunbay Kulahmet, just his 4th professional bout. Joe Travis there. Obviously nobody's told him that in Manchester the barbers have opened again. He's made the journey over because Tursunbay has been training with him and Jamie Moore in the VIP gym. Very gifted fighter. 67 and 17 as an amateur. I'd be interested to get your thoughts on this, Barry, because fighters do get fast-tracked, but all the noise is that they want him up at world level fighting for a major belt after 7 bouts. That is incredibly ambitious.
It is ambitious, and for the last guy, he had a great knockout in the first round in his last fight against a guy who was undefeated. But the McGowan and the Rahman Cole fights, they were 2 good fighters who he totally dominated. He really did. One of them he stopped before a round. McGowan just showed a grit and a fortitude, almost inhuman. Like literally to come up with batting from pillar to post for 10 rounds. It was all inspiring. This early in his career, you have to. You want that test where just on our world level to see. But once he has that, then yeah, you can see 7 fights is what it looks like so far. If he keeps progressing, it's conservative.
I spoke to Jamie Moore earlier in the week and he said that he's strong, he can really bang. He's got a great skill set that obviously he's moved to Manchester to try and cultivate. But also, Jamie commented on how easy he is to train. When Jamie asked him to do something, he just does it. It doesn't take him long. And he's just building and building and building that skill set.
Because they don't speak the same language, so they don't know what each other's saying, that's why.
Well, interestingly, he's obviously learning English because he's living in Manchester, but he's living in a house with Chantel Cameron, Stevie Ward and Sean McGoldrick, so goodness knows what kind of accent he's picking up. 4th bout of his professional career. We are all watching this one with a real interest.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a co-main event of the evening in Super Welterweight division. This is a 10th round of professional boxing. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce 2 boxers. Introducing you first and fighting out of the red corner. He is a EBU European champion, WBO Asian champion. Professional record, 19 wins, 14 defeats, 2 draw, 8 wins by way of knockout. Fighting out the Chelyabinsk, Russia. Please welcome Alexei Yevchenko. Introducing his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. He is the amateur Asian champion. He is the winner of Islamic Games, bronze medalist of World Championship. He is a WBC international champion. Ladies and gentlemen, professional record is a perfect one. 3 wins, no losses. 2 wins by way of knockout. Fighting out Kızılorda, Kazakhstan. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tursunbay Kulahmet. Referee of this bout, Baurzhan Iskakov.
Боксеры, слушайте мою команду. Правила не нарушайте. Пожалуйста. Удачи.
Alexei Evchenko versus Tursunbay Kulahmet. 10 rounds scheduled. Bojan Iskakan, the man in the middle. Kulahmet, white gloves, green trunks. Red gloves, black trunks for Evchenko.
No, it's good there from Evchenko. I just want to say, we want to see someone who's not overawed by the presence or the power of Kulahmet and really tries to put him on him.
Again, a man with a winning record. Again, all the talk in the build-up was that this will be the sternest test of his career. 10 rounds scheduled.
Well, they've all been tests on paper, and they've all genuinely been tests on paper. Rondon was one where we wasn't sure. You know, he looked like a big puncher on paper, of course, and defeated, but you know, there was no real track record of his opponent, so you weren't quite sure of that how manufactured that record was. But the other two certainly were good scalps to have.
Nice shot there, just over the top from Kulahmet, and then gets through with the left hand as well.
He felt that, Evchenko, that straight left hand on the middle. Shot.
Yeah, he's down. And good steady work from Kulahmet. Didn't rush it when he saw Evchenko was hurt.
That's exactly what you said, the rush. He doesn't rush. I wrote that down. Patience, accuracy is what he has. He's aggressive from the offset, and he's a quick starter, but he never rushes his work.
Well, Evchenko is down first. What was that, 80 seconds into the bout?
And what Kulahmet does, he just makes little tiny adjustments with the front foot. He puts you under pressure with that front foot, first of all, so you're never comfortable, even when he's not throwing shots. That's a good left hand.
Evchenko, that slowed him right down.
Look at that, that's fantastic work. And just a little step back, just little adjustments with the feet, get in and out of distance. But also when he's coming forward, he moves that foot just slightly to the right, just for a slightly different angle of attack. And it's almost impossible for Evchenko to fire back.
And just to follow up on that point, when he hurt him, he realised that perhaps nothing was on immediately, so again, just doesn't rush it.
No, he has a look, you know, he wants to be accurate, he wants to hit you on the target. He doesn't just swing and full fast flurries, like wouldn't be nothing wrong with that. But he knows he has the power in either hand. So he wants to be patient, he wants to make sure he can hit a clean target. Now he's moving back, trying a different tactics game, and moving back, now trying to encourage Evchenko to walk onto that ball type body shot there that he had landed with earlier on in the round. That's a good start.
Well, after those early warning signs from Kulahmet, I can't imagine Evchenko will be walking on any time soon.
But again, what I said about you want to see a guy who commits to the task and goes out and puts it on Kulahmet. But he tried that at the beginning, but now, after being hurt and hit and feeling the power and the accuracy, that's not going to happen.
Very good first round indeed from Tursunbay Kulahmet.
So going back to the corner there, Evchenko's corner, wasn't sure if they were going to go home or help him out. Again, just caught a little right hook he caught with there, that left hand on the middle, there's the shot. That's the shot that really caused all the trouble there, really backed him up. And he punches right through the target. Again, calm, precise, but takes the centre of the ring straight away, puts that front foot right in the centre of your stance, puts you under pressure before he even throws a shot.
Good movement there to make Evchenko miss.
Be fair for Evchenko, you know, he's still trying to win, isn't he? Still trying to find a gap, trying to be competitive.
Well, we've already seen this evening that being dropped in the first round doesn't necessarily...
It's a plus.
Yeah.
Oh, good left hook there from Mtk. On the temple there of Kalukmet. I remember in the Rondon fight, the last one, I was commenting on that, and I did say that Kalukmet maybe was looking for the perfect shot for too long. Then as I said that, I think he knocked Rondon out.
With the perfect shot.
With the perfect shot, as it goes, yeah, so... And you find out a lot with especially with Kazakhstan fighters, is they like to be accurate. They don't like to miss, so they're quite economical with their work rate. But what you also find with them is even the ones who are not big punchers, they all punch through the target. So even if they're not heavy-handed by nature, every shot you feel. And the ones who do have natural power, like a Golovkin, then every shot is hell. And Kalukmet doesn't quite have that power, but he's sort of has that. Every shot he hits you with, you feel it and you know you've been hit.
A little bit quieter this round from Kalukmet. Good response from Mtk as well. Lead left hand of Kalukmet. And in 2 or 3 times.
Looking at the body shot, Kalukmet, I think that's the shot he wants to try and finish you with, actually. That little bolo shot right to the centre.
Is the penultimate bout of the card. Next up is Zorbek versus Clark for the vacant WBO European Super Featherweight strap.
Yeah, finish here. First round, here. No here. No headshot. Okay, so look, hit. Okay. Trigger, hit. Understand? And from here, this shot. Boom, boom. Okay. Understand? No water.
Some pretty clear instructions there from Nigel Travis in the corner.
Oh, so lovely. Didn't just block that shot there by Mtk with a lovely movement there from Kalukmet. Just a little lean back turn from the shoulder and come back with that beautiful body shot.
There we go then, round 3.
Well, he might draw a bit of confidence from the last round of Mtk there, because it was drama-free for him. Good head movement there from Mtk.
Jab there from Kalukmet, wasn't it? Just stops Mtk doing anything.
Yeah, nice little cute uppercut as well there when he's close. And again, just adjusting, because he wanted to throw a jab, but he was a little bit too close, so he just realised he wasn't on for it, but still seeing that he had to do something through the uppercut. Not to want to waste an opportunity. Again, it's that body shot. You know, I said that before the round, and that was Nigel Travis in the corner saying that's the shot you want to go for. Go high and then put that body shot down low. Right hand there from Mtk, not much on it, but scoring shot all the same. shot there. Just again, I've mentioned plenty of times now the change of pace in the work. He's touching, and all of a sudden then a little bit more speed in that hook around the right hand there of Evchenko.
Just those small movements making it difficult for Evchenko to land as well. Two or three lovely jabs there from Kulakmet.
He's at the perfect range, isn't he? Evchenko's got to get closer or further away. You get a bit lower, Evchenko, keep that upper body moving, but throw him, every movement, every roll, you got to throw off it.
Kulakmet has absolutely cruised in this round, hasn't he?
Cool Ahmed, they should call him.
Yeah. Get that on a t-shirt. I'm sure this isn't the case, but Kulakmet just looks like he's happy to get the rounds in at the moment, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's. I just think again, sometimes we call him one-paced. I don't think that's the case. He just does. He wants to finish with a body shot. That's what it looks like to me. I think it's almost like an arrogance in a good way that he thinks I want to finish with a body shot. That's what I'm going for. So I'm just going to wait until that opportunity comes. And also, when you have that power, you can have that arrogance of not worrying about having to do much work to lose a round, because you just know as soon as I land with that right shot, it's good night. But he's winning the round anyway. That's the thing. He's doing enough to win the round. He's peppering Evchenko, and maybe he's hoping that he encourages him to be a little bit more proactive himself, and then the gaps will appear as he tries to attack. There'll be a gap there for him to capitalise on. But yeah, we would rather see him steamroll right through Evchenko. I mean, the fans of Kulakmet would, of course.
Oh, lovely uppercut there. So sharp. And then straight back into position. Just a little warning for Evchenko there that if he does leave a gap, then Kulakmet more than capable of taking advantage.
And also, someone like Kulakmet is almost a victim of his own success, because you feel the power straight away. He hurts you straight away, yeah, and you see that he has a good IQ. So you're less adventurous. So that means your hands are close and are very rarely throwing punches, so they're very rarely away from your face. Make sure I have the target to hit clean. And you've done that, which is what you want to do, but also it's made it hard for yourself to hit a cleaner target. That's why I never hit hard. I'm looking for the opportunity to throw a hard shot, which I never did throw.
Like the great artists, you paint the Sistine Chapel, then they expect them all to look like that.
That's right. Good shot there. Again, see, Evchenko looks to be a little bit ambitious, throws it 1-2 and goes for it the second time round, and that's where Kulakmet gets him. Gets him while he's throwing. When there's a gap appears.
Shot there from Evchenko though.
Yeah, a little nod of appreciation as well there from Kulakmet.
Big smile on his face there, and then he turns on the style again. Landing those single shots, and Evchenko returns with a nod of appreciation of his own.
And you're right, it is. That was a combination there of single shots. Oh, good right hook, left hook there from Evchenko, and again, I think the feet got tangled at the second time round. Nice jab. Just takes a little half a step into it, so it doesn't look like much, but he's actually all the weight behind the movement in the foot.
Another round in the bank, and Mtk, he's asking a few questions, but maybe not asking them regularly enough.
I think he's trying, but you know, he's also well aware that if he makes a mistake, he gets hurt. That's what it is. I think it's on Kulukmet now, isn't it, really, to have to pace a bit, put more pressure on him. He's looking for that body shot, but if it doesn't come, then yeah, no, there's plenty of alternatives for him.
For him, keep coming. He's done.
It's a lovely shot. I think that was just after Mtk landed with a couple of shots, and then Kulukmet had to put him back in his place. And there you go. You said single shots, and it was a combination of like 5 single shots, because he makes sure he hits correct and clean with it before he throws another one. There's no rush to his work. There's a clear gap to every punch.
Well, round 5 of the scheduled 10. And even those shots that land on the gloves. Oh, shot there from Mtk. That left hand landed.
He's landed with plenty, Mtk, and some good shots as well, which, to be fair, Kulukmet's taken them well. Because, you know, we haven't seen him really take any shots throughout his career, really. It's nice, not nice for him, but it's nice for us to see that he can hold a shot.
But before that, I was going to say that even the shots from Kulukmet that are landing on the gloves, they sound like heavy shots.
Yeah, every shot's enough, and it's like I said already tonight about other fighters. It's enough to make you second guess your work. It slows you down, tenses you up, yeah, and then makes you an easier target to hit, if anything. And that's what it's done with Mtk. It's just, you know, just taking a little bit of ambition away from him. He's trying to throw when he can, and that's why Kulukmet gets caught, because he's so sort of blasé about it, because nothing's ever coming back with him, because he stops you from working, because he hurts you very early. So every now and again he gets caught with a shot because he forgets that people are throwing back.
And Mtk throwing back again there, the right hand this time.
But if he wants to fight at world level, and this is a very competitive weight, as they all are nowadays, but this, you know, super welterweight's a very competitive weight, then, you know, he gets shot. Then he's gonna get, people are gonna throw it in. There's some fun fights out there for him at world level.
Well, now cut above the right eye of Kulukmet. Does have Kerry Kays in the corner, of course, one of the most renowned cut men in the business.
It's a good shot there from Kulukmet, and a good foot movement as well.
It's almost like that cut's woken him up a little bit.
Well, see, sometimes when you get cut, you're not, until you see the blood or feel the blood, all you feel is a pump. So you're not sure if it's a cut or a welt or a, you know, bruising, or so it can be a little bit of a panic to you sometimes.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if he starts to go through the gears a bit here, Kulukmet.
Oh, heads clash again there.
Final minute of the 5th round.
Good right hand as well there from Mtk. They missed with the first 2 shots, but kept throwing and got success.
This from Kulukmet though, and then just steps out of range. That looping shot from Mtk misses.
See, he's not putting nothing in those shots, Kulukmet, but he's so heavy-handed that even though they're not shots that are going to put you down, you feel it and just slowly drains your energy.
Another decent round. You'll see in the corner there. Look at that right eye of Turstan by Kulukmet. A little bit of marking on the face of Mtk, not too much. Just a bit above the right eye. Credit to him as he fills the lungs. He's taken a lot of big shots, but Ethan has probably had his best rounds in the last couple. Small crowd of local supporters here at the Barlowan Sholak Sports Palace, back enjoying their sport. Crowds, of course, at various levels of capacity around the world. someone set the alarm clock. If they're just getting out of bed, then they've missed 4 great fights on the card here. Wins for Doran Yelusinov, Ivan Dichko. And then Alexander Shorinov. And Talgat Shaken. Well, blink and you'll miss it. Certainly worth watching back. They went toe-to-toe. As did Nurtas Ashbinov and Issa Shaniev. Goodness me. We didn't get a good look in between rounds there at the cut above Tursunbay Kulakmet's eye, but doesn't seem to be closing up. And in fact, all the blood's completely disappeared, so maybe got a little bit too excited there.
That's good there from Mtk. Just dipping the head and throwing that right hand, getting a little bit low. Just like seeing his punches together now a little bit now. Kulakmet. I think this is dominant, he's having success, he's having to ship a few shots, but not too many. But just a little bit more fluency to his work. Just rattle off a combination every now and again. Nice.
Final minute of round 6. Kulakmet again just in control. With regards to his temperament then, because we've talked about him not being in a rush and doing things at his own pace, as you do go up the levels, and he has made his objectives very clear, he wants to be at that world level. Do you think that temperament stands you in good stead if you've not got a hot head and you're not going to get overawed by an occasion?
Of course, but it's not always about the temperament. Oh, good body shot there from Kulakmet.
Now Evchenko's got some questions to answer as Kulakmet looks to turn the screw. 15 seconds on the clock in round 6. Now Evchenko comes back on his own as Kulakmet wraps up. And then nods him on, almost as if he's trying to empty Evchenko's tank with a few rounds to go. What an interesting last 30 seconds of that round.
I think he let him for the hook, to be honest. He hurt him with a good body shot, the left hand to the body, and went to work on him, and then maybe he couldn't see any gaps and so took a step back.
This is the call.
So let's go back to that point about the temperament then.
So, dictating the pace is good. The problem is when you're fighting at one pace, it's great if you're always dominant. But if the guy can change the tempo, if you can't dictate the pace in a certain fight, and you used to fight at one pace, then you could be in trouble. That's the problem. And at world level, fighters will try and do that to you. So that's the difference. Sometimes even when you're dominant, going through the gears, up and down the gears, will sort of give you that muscle memory to know when the fight tempo changes, you can go with it. I'm not saying you can't do it, but there's nothing like on-job experience. And so yeah, so I think it's good that if you can step out a bit, I'll just rally off combinations, go through the gears a little bit, even if it's just for a round, and then go back down. You can't criticise a guy in his 4 or 5 dominating yet another opponent.
Yeah, guy who's fought 35 times, 240 odd rounds. In fact, the next round, should we get that far, will be his 250th as a professional for Alexei Evchenko.
But on paper, this is his easiest fight. Kulakmet.
Oh, good shot there from Kulakmet. Got through with the left hand. Again, Evchenko manages to do enough to stop the onslaught.
Let's go a little sneaky right hand there, Kulakmet. Just superb.
And again, just a nonchalance about that left uppercut.
It's a great shot, and it's well delivered. It's just going to say, if he throws a shot and then whips a right hook over the top, I just think it's a fight finisher.
Well, even with both of Evchenko's feet planted, that right hook moved him.
Tried it there.
Oh, 1-2 from Kulakmet. Led with the right, then came through with the left, and Evchenko has slowed right down.
A little nod of appreciation there from Evchenko. He's felt that.
Oh, and he looks to be tiring by the second here, Evchenko, as Kulakmet just turns up the temperature on him. A minute left in this 7th round.
Good right hand and a straight left there from Evchenko. He's from that school, best form of defence is offence, isn't he? Once he gets hurt, he thinks, I'm just going to fire. See what comes of it.
There's a lot of style in that left uppercut from Kulakmet, isn't there?
Oh, it's lovely, but again, no, I think he's boxing really well, but I think he's led Evchenko off the hook again, for me. I think he was rather than looking for that perfect shot, he was making space for it by throwing shots.
Still a lot of respect in there between the two of them. A touch of gloves at the end of round 7. So a little bit more from Kulakmet that round. But would you like to see him step on in situations like that, then try and finish the fight?
Listen, if I was in his corner, I'd say carry on, do what you're doing. You're boxing well, you're not shipping any shots back, and you're looking good. But yeah, for the selling yourself point, and I think it's in him to get finished. I just think that then the hands go a little bit more. I think he did in the beginning of that one, let his hands go. And then in combinations, look at that, the fluency in his work and he's landing. Rather than just throw the single shot and then wait, which is really good. He does that really well. He's throwing a good shot and whipping the next one over the top and looking to build on it. I think that's how he gets the stoppage against a real tough guy like Evchenko. We're splitting hairs here. He's boxing.
Oh yeah, beautifully.
It's his 4th fight. He's boxing so well.
Yes, he is. And we saw on the replays there a few feints that we didn't see first time because he had his back to us. A lot of variety to his work. A lot of talent inside those white and gold gloves.
And also, he's hit this guy with that most fighters, if not knocked out, would be damaged, hurt, and if not looked for a way out, the referee would have saved them from themselves. And he's a good test for guys who used to have it all their own way, and he is having it all his own way. But I mean, they're good tests for progressing your career, where you're hitting a guy who normally guys fall over, or like I said already, they wilt, and he's boxing the guy here. He's hitting him with the good shots, the shot, and for the first time, you're thinking, why isn't he looking for a way out? Why isn't he on the floor? And that helps you, because as you step in the levels, world-class fighters are better at everything. Better chins, better everything. Usually that's the case.
Halfway through round 8 of the 10 scheduled here in Almaty. With the right hand there.
The body shot was a great shot.
Yeah, it's patient and it's accurate, and Evchenko still holding on, but how long for as Kulakmet lands with the right hook. Evchenko pulls up his trunks and keeps coming. He is game, to say the least.
You can see what Nigel Travis was on about 4 rounds ago in the corner. He'll take those shots to the chin all day. You've got to hit him up there to go down and then go downstairs. You can see why he was saying that. But again, look, when he puts his punches together in combinations, he doesn't rush it. But they're beautiful, aren't they? He's so smooth with his work. So he doesn't throw the next one. So that one lands, and then straight away the one follows through.
And then the customary flurry with 10 seconds to go from Evchenko. Yeah, really is lovely to watch from Tursunbay Kulakmet. 8 rounds, comfortably ahead in the bout. Alexei Evchenko does deserve huge credit because he's been behind in the fight the entire time. Remember, he got dropped back in round 1. Not necessarily down to one clean shot, but just down to clean, patient work from Tursunbay Kulakmet, and there's been another 7 rounds of that. So he looks to wind up that left uppercut again. Lovely feint there to tee up the right hand as well. He's got the full toolkit. Two rounds to go. Interested as well whether he will look for the stoppage here or he'll be happy for what, well, provided it goes the 10 rounds, I'd imagine will be a comfortable points victory.
And if it goes 10 rounds, even if it don't go 10 rounds, the fact that it's gone this far in, it's invaluable.
Yeah.
Because however hard you do it in the gym, it's just a different experience having out in the ring, doing the same sort of distance of rounds in a real life fight. And also, it hasn't been a frantic pace because he controls the pace, so he fights at the pace he wants, which is obviously makes it a bit easier. But he's had to dig some shots in. He's come up against some resistance. He's had some shots fired back at him, which is a foreign experience for him in many ways.
There we go. Evchenko landing with the left hand that time.
But this was the fight you put this one and the heavyweight fight were the fights that you thought were definitely going to go early.
2 men exchanging in the middle.
But Evchenko is as tough as he can, and more than tough, actually. He knows when to fire back at the right time, when to get close at the right time. So he's a guy you can beat, but a guy you're never going to beat. He's winning comfortable here, but he's never a guy you're gonna beat easy. And if you don't have the power, he's a guy who can give you a lot of trouble.
I mean, it's good matchmaking, really, isn't it? As Kulakmet lands with some more clean work, and again,
that's a great shot.
The right hook this time, but Evchenko is still in there. But yeah, 4 fights in. If you're looking to fast track a guy, stick him in with a Russian like Evchenko, and as you say, it's ideal, isn't it?
If you want to know what his temperament's like when things aren't going your own way, or when things that work for you don't always work, don't have the desired effect, because he's used to hitting people. The McGowan fight was good for him, because that was a fight where he hit him and he had to go looking for him, and he had to go the distance as well. You know, that was an eye-opener for him as well, and this has been a different one. Good shot.
More clean work with 30 seconds of the penultimate round to go. Kulakmet keeping those hands low. Do feel as though he does want to land that lovely shot, that picture-perfect shot, as you mentioned early in the fight. The way Evchenko fights, he doesn't give you the opportunity, does he? That we saw in the previous bout, that massive hook to win it came when the man was facing the wrong way or when he was off balance. Evchenko is always set, ready to absorb those kind of shots, isn't he?
Yeah, always. Yes, he's always on. He always keeps his shape. He's always protecting himself all the time, and then when he's not, he's throwing.
I tell you what, he'll need some aspirin tonight, though, won't he? Cool. He has tasted some leather in 9 rounds as Alexei Evchenko.
And he has as well. You see there, look at the shots. They're, especially this late in the fight, uppercuts like that, they're sickeners. They really are. Went a little bit low there, but the rest of it's good quality work. But again, though, he was taking these shots. They're shots that should put you in your shell. And Evchenko's looking to fire back. Just one tough man. And you can't train for that. You know, you can, your whole game plan, you know, sometimes a guy's toughness just throws it out the window.
Final round then. 10 were scheduled. 10 will get, or at least part of 10. And we've seen plenty to impress us from Tursunbay Kulakmet this evening. If you're watching him for the first time, keep an eye out. This is just the 4th bout of his professional career.
He has so much potential, Kulakmet. I'm almost disappointed that he hasn't got the guy out there. It's really unfair that, you know, that he's boxed really well, controlled the pace from literally the first second, landed with some quality shots, head and body, to be fair. Not probably more body shots if he wanted to, but he's done really well. Taking a few shots with no complaints. Got cut, didn't moan about it. But yeah, I'm still disappointed.
I actually think that's huge credit to his quality as a fighter, though.
Exactly what it is. It's how good you put him, how good you think he can be.
I'm really interested to see.
Good shot, he hurt Evchenko there, just caught him leaning forward, a little bit off balance, but I think it was a good shot.
Well, he's got less than 2 minutes if he does want to finish it before the final bell. But he's in a good environment as well there in Manchester. He was right in the middle of the camp. Oh, lovely shot, and he does drop Evchenko. The left, then the right. That right just tipping Evchenko off the scales.
The first shot did it, really did. Took a while for it to really register, didn't it? But it stopped him in his track.
Well, now will he turn the screw? Evchenko holding on but trying to throw back, but he doesn't look steady on his legs. Feint with the left, then the right comes over, and it's a monster from Kulakmet. Oh, the referee's going to have to look at this, and he does. And with a minute to go, Kulakmet gets his 3rd stoppage in 4 fights. And that is a job well done from this talented young Kazakh.
Just fantastic. I feel sorry for Evchenko now all of a sudden, but what a finish. That's just world class written all over him, he really has. In 4 fights, he really has. You know, he didn't put a foot wrong, and you're disappointed he didn't get the finish. But then when he hurt him with that, he hit that right down, great technique, right on the centre of the guy, right on the piper, you'd say, with a long left hand. Look at that, and it just sunk. And the right hand there just helps him on his way, but he took a little delayed reaction, and he was spent from there on in there, he really was. And Evchenko's tough as old boots. He's had a hard night's work, Evchenko, really has. And you think that would be enough, that's a heavy knockdown there. That's enough, he's down, he's exhausted. But no, he's made the stern stuff, he gets up. But the onslaught, you know, probably 3-4 punches too many for my liking, to be fair. That uppercut there should be stopped right there, right then. The accuracy in the work in the finish, no compassion in that assault. That's a world-class display, it really is.
Well, I think the way he finished the fight is testament to his temperament. That's exactly what we spoke about. When you get that knockdown, it's in the last round, you want to finish the fight, it's easy to jump on, isn't it?
Shifting the gears, going through the gears, and he did it, he really did. Listen, he didn't just beat a world-class opponent there so people get carried away. But for me, the whole way around him, he just screams world-class, world quality. And you can see what they're on about fast-tracking him. He's beat 3 really good people and 1 really tough, hard man in 4 fights. It's not quite Lomachenko introduction to the pro game, but it's as good as anyone else's.
Watch this space then. 7 fights is the target. He's in a great environment. Travis, Jamie Moore, Harry Kayes. Travis in camp as well. So we've seen how the best do it. He's not the best himself.
And if they're his children, and I don't know, the way he was kissing them, they might be. The commitment that boxers make. The people don't realise, you see the success, the commitments he's left home, another country, the other side of the world, to further his career and to give them a better life.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Skaka start the bout in 1 minute 57 seconds of the round 10. Win by TKO Tursun by Kulakman.
10-round stoppage of a very worthy opponent. Kulakman moves on. Alexei Evchenko earns everybody who watched this bout's respect.
Horribly hard, it really is. And he'll break some hearts, to be honest, to be fair. He really will, but that's a fight that takes put some miles on the clock, that's for sure.
There as well. A lot of talent in Kazakhstan, and maybe Tursun by Kulakman. He is top of the list, but one bout remaining. Clark versus Zorbek, a strap on the line.
Again. 1, 2. Again. 1, 2.
And after a long layoff, fascinating to see how Ronnie Clark will get on. But let's have a look at some of the highlights, and there were plenty of highlights, nearly 10 rounds of non-stop action, but familiar patterns throughout. Good clean work by Kulakman, and Evchenko just refusing to go away till right at the end.
It was Kulakman, again, economic but efficient with every shot he threw. Always looking to hit the target clean or not throw at all, and that's the way he fights, and understandable. And you can see why when the accuracy and the quality in his work. But every time it looked like Evchenko was looking to wilt, he would come back, and not just come back with anything. He would come back with some quality in himself, and he caught Kulakman a few times and decent shots. Kulakman, to his credit, didn't show any effect with it. Didn't look like it was a. It looks like he got a decent chin of his own and always looked to fire back. Didn't look frustrated when the shots he landed with didn't have the effect that they normally have. But there, it was a grueling hard fight there for Evchenko, and then the quality throughout, and that's what he does here. Kulakman, he keeps that quality in his work from the first bell to the last bell, and that's what happened here tonight. And that quality left hand at this stage of the fight was too much for the great resistance there of Evchenko, and then he got the finish. And I think that was fantastic display. It really was. He's in a really competitive weight, world level. Jamel Charlo could be the unified champion soon, anytime soon. He's boxing obviously Brian Castano there for all the marbles, they say, and he'll move on.
Well, the final bout of the evening then for the vacant WBO European Super Featherweight belt. Ronnie Clark returning after a long layoff. February 2018, the last time he boxed. Sultan Zorbek, 7 knockout victories in his perfect record in his 10 professional bouts. The headline fight of the evening here at this MTK show in Almaty.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for main event of the evening. Are you ready? Let me invite two challengers for WBO European Super Featherweight Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing and inviting first, fighting out of the red corner, please welcome Ronnie "The Shark" Clark.
Ronnie the Shark Clark. A long layoff for the man from Dundee. 24th of February 2018 is when he dropped Zalfa Barrett in the 6th round en route to winning the IBF European Super Featherweight title. You were ringside for that one, Barry Jones. Since then, he's struggled with cancellations of fights and postponements. I think he'll see this as a huge opportunity. It's a long layoff, but it's amazing how much desire can do.
It is, and I tell you one thing about Ronnie Clark, he won't be overawed by the situation. No, he was the away opponent and treated like it against Zalfa Barrett. Right, so Zalfa Barrett is a good fighter. Just see there, he's so up for it. He really is. He won't be overawed by being in another country against a prospect. He'll just think, I've done this, been here once before, and prevailed.
Well, in the build-up, he said how grateful he is to be back. He says that fighting is his medicine and he needs it. He's motivated and he's going to have to be. But incredible to think his last fight was for a European title, and this one is as well. Oh, and he looks hyped, doesn't he? Positive body language. First bout, believe it or not, outside of the United Kingdom. What a place to do it, and what a stage to do it as well. It's been a great evening of boxing here at Almaty.
Ladies and gentlemen, his opponent fighting out of the blue corner. Please welcome Sultan Zaurpek!
Sultan Zaurpek. 10 from 10. Undefeated southpaw, 25 years of age. 52 rounds boxed. 10 bouts since turning pro in 2018. He's going along at a good pace. Made his debut, like many at York Hall. It's incredible that fighters from all around the world end up in that small boxing mecca in East London. Although his second bout was slightly more glamorous. That was in the casino in Monte Carlo. You were probably there winning millions on the craps table, Barry, alas. He's made quite a name for himself in the UK. He was on the undercard for Jordan Gill's homecoming night in Peterborough. Richard Riakmore beat Tommy McCarthy for the WBA Intercontinental, but his last 4 fights have been here in Kazakhstan. He's had some showreel knockouts as well. Another serious talent coming out of this nation, and he'll be looking to add the vacant WBO European Super Featherweight strap to his already building reputation.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthems of 2 countries. National anthem of United Kingdom. Ladies and gentlemen, national anthem of Republic of Kazakhstan. Ladies and gentlemen, Mtk Kazakhstan, in association with Mtk Global and Top Rank, proudly glad to present the main event of the evening on ESPN Plus in America, Canada, and on IFL TV worldwide. This is a 10 rounds of boxing fight for the WBO European Super Featherweight Champion, and sanctioned by World Boxing Organization President Francisco Paco Valcarcel, Supervisor Sergei Khursanov, Russia, and Kazakhstan Professional Boxing Commission. Sponsored by ALT University, Round 10, Gold Sapa, Buka. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce the judges. Judge 1, Paul Tuzinde, Almaty. Judge 2, Yerbol Nurushev, Shymkent, Kazakhstan. Judge 3, Baushan Iskakov, October. And inside the ring, in charge of the action, your referee, Yuri Koptev, Russia. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce two challengers for this champion title. Introducing you first and fighting out of the red corner, professional record of the boxer, 21 wins, 4 defeats, 2 draw, 10 wins by way of knockout. Fighting out the Dundee, Scotland, United Kingdom. Please welcome Ronnie the Shark Clark. Introducing his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. He is WBC World Youth Champion. Professional record is perfect one. 10 wins, no losses. 7 wins by way of knockout. Fighting out the Shymkent, Kazakhstan. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sultan Saurbek.
Some most important guys. Protect yourself all the time and listen to the comments. Touch gloves, good luck.
The main event of the evening then for the vacant WBO European Super Featherweight title, Ronnie the Shark Clark returning to the ring, and a big test ahead of him, Sultan Saurbek, all in white. You've seen plenty of these men in recent times. Well, more of Saurbek than Clark recently. And he's another one, Saurbek, Barry, who you've commented in the past, he looks like he's got gears to go up, but doesn't always go up them.
Yeah, he's got good variety and he's got lovely movement. He's a real clever boxer, but yeah. But I think he's learning to go through the gears. And again, that's I think it goes back to the amateurs, just sitting on their laurels, happy to be ahead. picking the points and not taking any risks, which is good. But yeah, you only criticise because you know it's in him to do it. And against someone like Clark, if Clark's anywhere near as good as he was prior to his hiatus, then he's going to have to go through the gears.
It's a big opportunity for Ronnie Clark to get that right hand working early.
Yes, that right hook of Ronnie Clark's is the problem because he throws it really long. It's almost like a straight. It's almost like an Azuma Nelson hook where it doesn't bend on the elbow. It's real straight.
Yeah, on paper, the more experienced of the two, Clark, 167 rounds boxed. He's been in some real wars as well in that time. Tasted victory and defeat in key bouts for titles. Former Scottish area champ as well. For a lot of these fighters, particularly British fighters, those regional belts will mean as much as any other title, won't they?
Yeah, sure. Well, good right hook there from Zerbeck. No, most definitely. Oh, good. Just going to be well spotted by the referee there. Just use the shoulder there from Clark. Clark's just going to be careful he doesn't fall too short with his attacks. Too close there, Zerbeck. He didn't need to be that close. Combination was the right idea. Just need to have a little bit of a habit, a full step back when he let those shots go. Good shot. Oh, Clark got his feet in close there when he wanted to be. He just didn't let his hands go. And you wouldn't have been out, you know, that just have a ring sharpness and that, you know, that you have when you're active.
Clark lands right on the bell. The end of round one.
Thanks for there, so let's work with them. Let's work with them. You can find out his human, man. So you find out it's normal like us, yeah? Stick with the jab, stick with the double jab, yeah? Don't stay there and admire your work, yeah? Get the shots out. Yeah, do the work, come on. Feint, make it free.
So Zerbeck was a little bit close. He had the right idea to keep it long with the two straight shots, and he went to double up with the hooks and to share them with Clark. And the good pressure by Clark. I think, you know, he didn't rush his work too much, didn't get too close. He didn't jump into his work, I should say, and get too close and get caught. Just needs to be a little bit more active now. Just slowly, probably more pressure every round here for Clark. Put the more leaner and more naturally talented fight under the pressure.
Oh, nice shot there from Zerbeck. Getting through clean with that jab to slow Clark down. See that he thrives on that energy, Clark.
Good jab there from Zerbeck. And Clark gets one back into his own, but oh, it's nice. Just Just needs to quicken the feet though, Clark, when he throws that double jab. Just a little bit too far out.
No, we fight first. Come on. Sensible, Ronnie.
Calls from the corner for Clark to be sensible there as Zorbek gets through that jab again.
But I think he's just trying to mount his attacks a little bit too far out here, Clark, and Zorbek's being quite, he's not doing loads, but he's just being a little bit clever with the jab. Yeah, that's good work there from Zorbek. Nice left hand and a right uppercut to the body.
Oh, nice left there. Lead left from Zorbek that time.
Took it well though, Clark, didn't he? We're starting to take it, and again, that's like the fourth one on the trot now. Good jab. That's better from Clark. Little movement with the move, with the jab.
A few times in this round, it's looked as though Zorbek has landed a good shot, usually a jab, and Clark has wanted to respond immediately, so perhaps has thrown when he's been out of range, just to try and get something off.
Just got to quick on that front foot a little bit, Clark, and that gets him closer to the target, and then when he's doubling up with the jab. Don't go see too far out with that hook. The movement's not too bad, the roll coming out of the hook is too far out when he does it. And that's because of the long reach and the good jab there of Zorbek, who controlled it there with that lead right hand.
Big grin on the face of the Shark as he goes back to his corner at the end of round 2.
Бірақ кішкене чуть к нему ближе держись, хорошо? Кішкене жақын
2 rounds in, Zorbek,
Вазелин берші, вазелинмен
the
сүртіп
cleaner of the work.
That's a lovely bit of work there from Zorbek there. Just a little good head movement there to make Clark miss, and then come out with a nice little straight right. And then with a couple of counter left hands as well, just to complement the good work he did in that round. That's better from Clark. Faint, fidgety movement he needs to come forward.
Clark throwing that left from out of range, and Zorbek perhaps making it look even shorter than it is. A bit of movement.
Getting too far out, but good. But he was in target, he was in range there. Clark, it's just good movement there from Zorbek, a little skip back. Nice movement again there from Zorbek.
Ronnie Clark really looks like he's enjoying himself in there, doesn't he?
Took a left hand, yeah, but a right hand, sorry. I think he just, well, he's great. It must be great for him to be back after all that time off. Especially, he had that win. That should have been a great stepping stone for him to move on, and it didn't work out that way for him, of course. Good work from Zorbek as well. They're good body shots. Oh, nice little left hand though back from Clark. That's good.
On the left hand.
Nice there, little lead uppercut in the left hand from Zorbek. I think Clark needs to make Zorbek fight at a higher pace than this is right now. Even though he's having a bit of success, it's Zorbek's work or Zorbek's work that you remember the most.
Yeah, whip that left-handed body shot in there, Zorbek.
And he likes and he likes it at the slow pace as well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Zorbek, I've complained before about one pace, but he likes it slow, and because he thinks he has the faster reactions, the longer reach over most of his opponents. So Clark needs to rush him, make him work hard, and like he did to Zelfa Barrett, of course, put it right on him. Made every round tough, even the rounds that he was losing, made it tough for the opponents.
And because they're arriving less frequently, Zurbek's shots seem to have more venom as well, don't they? Heavier shots. Nice flurry at the end of the round there from Zurbek. Low, high, low. Catch the judge's eyes.
Yeah, and he's not having it all his own way, Zurbek, but he's winning the rounds, and there's not enough pressure to make him panic, or for him to feel the need to rush his work. One of many body shots as Zurbek, he throws it, they're not on those shots, he sort of gets the angle. Again there, another one, lovely shot, just leans over and gets it from the second attempt. Hits one a little bit higher and then goes a little bit lower with the second. He boxed well in that round, I thought, Zurbek. Clark tried to reserve pressure, but it just wasn't intense enough to trouble the young Kazakh.
Round 4. Clark getting shouts of approval from the corner.
But he needs to maintain it, and I think for Clark it's just hit anything. You know, I think that will make, or hopefully make Zurbek panic a little bit that he's just getting caught. Even if they're not clean shots, hit a shoulder, hit anything, just get to the target, try and stay on his chest.
Good shot there from Zurbek.
Oh, nice jab there though from Clark. A bit of speed in that shot.
Yeah, good bit of call and response in this 4th round. Zurbek physically the bigger of the two, though. It's going to be difficult for Clark to win those jab exchanges, isn't it?
It is, but getting low and throwing from a different angle helps. You throw upwards, so you can, when you get low, you dip your legs, your front foot gets a bit closer. So you don't look like you're close, but you actually are. Then you throw the jab up and you step in a little bit. Just steal the space. Good shot. Good jab back though from Clark, but nice little combination there from Zurbek. That's better from Clark there. See, I think that let your punches go. You missed with the first two because he kept with it. He landed with the right hook.
Well, that's the first time we've seen Clark sort of choke back on the punch. He's thrown those ones from out of range earlier in the fight. Perhaps a sign that he's feeling a little bit more used to being in the ring again.
Yes, of course, yeah. I had to bring the feet in again there for that shot. Zurbek never really capitalised on it. That was Zurbek's opportunity there to rattle off a combination with a bit of quality, and he never did it. And he's got to punish Clark for his mistakes.
End of the 4th. Not a huge amount of pace in 4 rounds so far, Barry Jones.
No, and I think that's how Zerbeck wants it and prefers it. He obviously, of course, looks he can pick the shots better. But you know, you just got to not give another guy confidence. That's the worry there. That Clark's starting to hit the target certainly in that round, get a little bit closer. So you have to up the pace just to, you know, or throw and land more shots. I think for Zerbeck is in his capabilities to do. And for Clark, for me, if he can just get close to the target quicker and put a bit more panic in the work of Zerbeck, then he will have more success of his own. The body shots of Zerbeck have been fantastic tonight. He whips him in, you know, he's standing quite upright when he's throwing him, he's whipping him right through the middle.
Well, that bell takes us to the start of round 5 then. Zerbeck gets straight through with the jab. Clark there with the feints, but the moment he stood still, Zerbeck pounces on him with the jab.
But do you care, Clark, he did block and counter with a lovely jab of his own. But he needs to be constantly moving forward. I think, you know, he's moving the shoulders a little bit more here. Slip inside the shots, have a bit of confidence. Nice little hook there from Zerbeck. Again, it's only when Clark makes a little mistake and just threw from a little bit too far out. Just got clipped, nothing heavy. Again, I keep saying the same thing, but he has to get close to Clark. You know, he's thinking he can maybe outbox him a little bit, but that's not working that way. He's not getting schooled or anything, but he's just getting a little bit picked off here. This distance is suiting and better for the guy with the longer levers, and that's Zerbeck.
So with regards to him getting closer, do you think it's the jab of Zerbeck that's just got Clark's respect that means that he's reluctant to get?
It is, but I think he's throwing too far out and missing and getting clipped, and he's tentative to because he's making a mistake, he's tentative to commit again. But he just needs to double step with that front foot and come forward with a double jab, but take a big step and then a small step. And you just make the feet a little bit faster, get to the target quicker. He's going nice and low, that's the right idea.
So Zerbeck tries to land a few solid shots, but again, Clark responds well.
He did, there was a nice, but there's a lovely clipping right hook there from Zerbeck again.
Yeah, Clark certainly not overawed by the environment after this long layoff, but Zerbeck doesn't look rushed at any stage. And probably ahead by a good few rounds on the cards now.
Yeah, I think the quality of his work's a lot better than Clark's. Clark's having success. I mean, he's landing enough shots to keep it competitive, but from the distance he is, he's allowing the work of Zerbeck to shine out.
Would it be fair to say that Zerbeck's quite economical with his work, or certainly has been in this fight?
He's crazy. No, he is, and that's one of my criticisms of him. Again, that he's too economical. He has been learning to go through the gears at times, but not tonight. But then I think tonight, a slow pace will probably suit him for this sort of fight. It's Clark who needs Zerbeck to rush his work. Even this, you win a round by a massive distance, or just win a round by a shot. If you're winning the round, you're winning the round. And I think even though Clark's making the rounds close, I still think that it's Zurbek's work that's doing enough to win the rounds. And I think the judges will see it that way also. And you know, there shouldn't be a bias, but you know, him being the home fighter can only help, of course.
And Clark knows that. As we mentioned before, the first time he's ventured outside of the British Isles to box, with the opportunity to win the belt on the line. Seems like a good decision to make, but with rounds 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 to go, is he going to need to turn the screw to up the tempo to win this vacant WBO European Super Featherweight strap from, as Barry Jones points out, the home fighter?
That was all Clark's fault, that was, and he'll know that when he looks back. Just he threw, especially the southpaw stance, throwing that left hand from that far out, you square yourself up, and then you had a sitting target. That's better from Clark. He didn't throw after, but the double feint was the right idea. That closes the distance for you. Jab, double feint. Make Zerber take a little step back, but you take a bigger step with your front foot, you get closer. Hook there from Zerber. That's the shot you got to throw more. The left hand of it. Every time Clark throws a single jab, you got to fire that left hand over the top. Turn from the core, commit to it.
Well, this is attritional, to say the least.
Good job from Clark. We'd have to take a little left hand after that.
Yeah, that is something that Zurbek's done well, isn't it? Nice movement there to get away from that Clark spree of punches. Clark's done well to get the respect of the local crowd as well. Bearing in mind that his corner seem to be the loudest people in the venue as we look forward to round 7.
I'd like to see Zurbek just get a little bit of bounce to his step. So I think that gives a bit of energy in his work then. So he throws the jab. But if he gets a little bit of bounce to his step and he's stabbing with it, he gets a little, you feed off that because you get a movement, and then when you throw the jab, you step back a little bit and you're looking to go again then.
7 coming up. 7 coming up.
In the fight so far, it doesn't really feel as though either fighter has done enough to really worry the opponent or scare the opponent.
No, but sometimes fights don't work out that way, you know, because they become a technical battle, which is what this has sort of been. So no one's looking to make a massive mistake.
Yeah.
No one wants to take that gamble. That's what it is. No one wants to take that massive gamble to take the fight by the scruff of the neck. And I think the onus is on Clark to do that. I'm surprised he hasn't, because I think in the past he would have. But then, you know, he hasn't been in with Zurbek before. Maybe he's trying to, and he can't. But Zurbek, you know, again, he could take the fight by the scruff of the neck. I think it's in him to do that. But he must feel like I do that he's winning the rounds. So, why does he need to?
Well, this round 7 of 10. Still plenty to come in this one. Nice Nice shot there from Zorbek. Gets in, gets out.
That's nice there from Clark. A double jab. Again, missed with the first one because he kept moving forward with the feet, stabbing with the front foot. Gets the rewards.
But again, it's a good response from Clark. After being clipped. Not clipped particularly heavy, but caught nonetheless.
No, nothing's been heavy, is it, really? That's a good hook there from Zorbek. Gum shield, I think. Oh no, he's telling him off for... I thought he was telling him off for talking, trying to guess what's happening. Not the eye, is it? Oh. Thumb in the eye, maybe?
Well, he gestured to it straight away.
He doesn't care, Clark, does he?
No, straight back into it.
Opens his arms like say, I don't know what that was all about.
Yeah, none of that ring entry enthusiasm has diminished for Clark. And even though he is renowned for putting it on opponents, he certainly doesn't look like a man who hasn't been in the ring since the 24th of February 2018, does he?
No, he doesn't actually. But also at the same time, he hasn't been able to put it on Zorbek, so there might be a case there, but then the kid might just be too tricky for him.
Oh, no, it's Zorbek's turn to have a technical, but just a problem with his gloves.
Just a little bit of binding and then...
Just looking at it there, is there a bit of swelling in the left eye? Is that what they were looking at?
Yeah, I think so, yeah, I think it is, yeah. It looks like on the eyelid maybe, I don't know, but...
Yeah. Not closed up enough to worry the
I
referee.
almost don't know how you can get a thumb in the glove with the gloves. Actually, because they're attached to the main part, the knuckle part of the glove. Oh, not far off there for Clark.
End of the round eventually. Still 3 to go. All to box for these two, Ronnie Clark, Sultan Zorbek. One of them will leave with a belt around the waist.
Okay.
Well, yeah, it's the left eye that's getting the attention. See if we can spot where it happened in these replays. Three rounds to go. I wonder if Clark will try and empty the tank here, try and up that pace, the tempo. It's led to his success over the years. Zorbek just looks happy to box at his own pace, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, yeah. And rightly so.
Yeah?
Because even though... it's been, I wouldn't say a chess match, but it's been,
Drafts match.
Yeah, well, no one's looking to overcommit, and no one's looking so that means no one's looking to really commit. But Zorbek's look happy with that.
heavier shot that time from Zorbek.
Yeah, good shot, just knocking Clark a little bit off balance. That's, I mean, from this range, it's just, even when Clark does land, it just, there's more effect on the shots that Zorbek's landing. So whatever, if you look at a punch count, they might not do dissimilar, but Zorbek's going to get the nod every time. It's a good jab though. There needs to be more than singles.
Yeah, that came off the back of a couple of feints. Did you hear the call from the corner there? Thumb again. They're asking for that.
I don't, but that can't be an intentional thing, can it? You know, that's the problem.
Oh, 2 exchanges there.
Clark and the better, I think, as well. Oh, that's good work from Zorbek. Lovely uppercut. That's good left hand as well. Not enough of those for me. I think that's been a good weapon for Zorbek. He just hasn't used it enough.
Clark there just trying to work in the clinch as well. Manages to get one through, but Zorbek shakes it off, and we hear the bell at the end of round 8. Still 2 to come. Maximum of 2 to come before we find out who will be leaving the WBO European Super Featherweight Champion.
It looks like he got plenty in the tank, doesn't he, to be fair to him?
It doesn't look like he's going to empty that tank either. But as you've said a number of times, if you're doing enough to win the round, why take any risks?
One more time, mate. Come on, clear your eyes shut.
Maybe Ron Clark should be taking some risks.
Yeah, most definitely. But it's easy to say that for us who not have to take the punches. You know, just because he looks like he hasn't been hurt, doesn't mean Zorbek hasn't hurt him. I'm not saying he has, but you know, so it's easy to say, yeah, you just got to do it. But also, if you want to win a fight, you get to a point where, for me,
yeah,
unless you don't think he's that far behind, but you're so far behind that what you do you go for it? Because he hasn't. It's not as if he's clinging on to the dear life and just trying to survive. He's in the fight, sort of thing. You know, every round's competitive, isn't it? So I think, yeah, for me, I think, you know, the last 2 rounds, he looks like he has enough energy in himself, to be fair, Clark. Looks that way. He goes for it a little bit. But there's a huge risk with that. You know, you make a mistake and you get caught and you get hurt.
Well, we have seen in Zorbek's 10-fight career that he is more than capable of stopping a fight with a single shot. Better from Zorbek. At least for a few phases there, Clark just stopped throwing.
Well, for Zorbek, it's not even like even be that busy at times. It's just change the tempo of some of your work. That's good shots. If he throws a 1-2 and just whips in, just, you know, really accelerates with the right hook, how different and more effective that would be. And look, it was low, very low.
Look at Clark though, he's just so keen to get back at it.
Other fighters who maybe are down on points would think, oh, I'll fall over the floor here, no, fall on the floor and then get him disqualified. But Clark doesn't even want to take a minute rest.
No, Clark's come to fight. It's great to see him back as Zorbek lands another jab, then a body shot.
He's been sharp in this one, hasn't he, Zorbek? We can't do nothing about that, ref. You know, Clark goes low, he's got to go over the top of him.
Once again, Clark sits on the stool with a huge smile on his face, but with 1 round to go, certainly according to my very unofficial scorecard, he's got a lot of work to do if he is to leave with a belt around his waist. Some good work from Zorbek there in round 9.
Yeah, I thought he was nice and sharp, I think, and it might have been because Clark tried to put a bit more pressure on him, which, you know, goes against everything we've been saying, of course. Yeah, but he looked nice and sharp and neat. But again, it's got to be again, the same all the time. Oh, good shot. I thought actually, you know, when that was landed, I thought he actually missed the target. I thought the corner like really encouraged him. I thought he missed, but looking on that angle, he might have caught him.
Bite on, mate, bite on. That's it.
Big deep breaths. Last round in Kazakhstan.
There's a song there.
Let's go.
Final round of the bout, final round of the evening, and a lovely show of respect between the two. Zorbek looking for an 11th victory. 11th consecutive victory in his fledgling pro career. Ronnie Clark back in the ring for the first time in a long time. And I'm sure for many people, mainly himself, it's great to have him back in the mix. Looking to get busy in close is Clark. But I think it's after Clark has landed a few and then Zorbek comes back. His shots just sound heavier, don't they?
Yeah, they do, yeah.
That could be down to a number of factors. Again, Clark in close. Just trying to do everything he can to land some leather.
Oh, good jab there from Clark. That's a good body shot as well. Had to take a left hook, mind, but and some good shots. This is what I thought we were going to see from the offset from Clark here.
That's interesting now, isn't it? He's edging forward, he's feinting more. All the things that you wanted to see from him earlier in the bout, but we're approaching the final minute of round 10.
That's good from Zorbek there, good foot movement.
Into the final minute then.
Oh, clipped him. No, he clipped Zorbek there with
yeah,
the
left
hand. Yeah.
I was going to say, he just turned away for a split second, Zorbek. Oh, body shot from Zorbek. Wow.
Great shot.
Clark stays up, but it slowed him down. And now
he's felt it.
30 seconds of Alamo coming up. Zorbek looks to finish in style. And now the crowd find their voice as well. Into the final throes of this. And now some fancy footwork from Zurbeck as he thinks he's done enough to win the bout. Two men with a smile on their face, and we go to the judges' scorecards. Zurbeck pumps his fist, he's claiming it. Ronnie Clark very much looking like he enjoyed that one.
Great body shot. From out, he almost stands upright when he throws it, and it's so far off from distance, it almost shouldn't hit. And he called Clark, he felt it, Clark, from the offset. He did well to survive that. He used all his smarts to get through the round, to be fair to him. But there's only one winner.
Yeah.
That's the truth of it. There's only one winner. Clark was competitive, made it really like a tetchy sort of affair where no one was looking to overcommit, but he couldn't put enough pressure, or wasn't able to, or whatever, enough pressure on Zurbeck to make him panic his work and make him rush any of his stuff, and that's why Zurbeck was always a step ahead.
Well, it's interesting with these two fighters because they're both at different stages in their career. We will go to the scorecards, but we believe that Zurbeck will become the WBO European Super Featherweight champion. He'll probably be looking to go up a level again in the next few fights, but Ronnie Clark has shown there that even after that long layoff, he's certainly still got something, and I wonder if we'll see him back in the ring, hopefully.
I think so, if he can keep disciplined, keep his mind on track, of course, I think we should see him back in the ring. There's always that Zelfa Barrett rematch, I think Zelfa would probably prefer it, I think he wanted it on the offset. And Clark, whether he wanted it or not, he would have took it for the money, of course, but... And so there's also a fight for him there, Doro, a guy he's beat already once before, and also they'll be on a big platform and he get a new opportunity to shine. So yeah, we'll see. But I think for Zurbeck it's a win, and even though it's a good win for him, it's still a win where he stepped up and he delivered. But this is not a kid you can rush. It's a kid with loads of potential, not a kid you can rush.
Well, that is his 11th pro bout. His corner seemed pretty happy with it. MC Arman Nominov is getting his final instructions before announcing the result. The WBO European Super Featherweight belt is in the ring as well. And now we have the result.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecard for decision. Judge Iskakov, 190. Judge Tuzinde, 99-91. Judge Nuroshev, 190. Win by unanimous decision and new WBO European Super Featherweight Champion, Sultan Zurbeck!
Well, as expected, it's a unanimous decision victory, 100-90, 100-90, and 99-91. Very one-sided scorecards. And Sultan Zurbeck takes the next step on his journey with the WBO European Super Featherweight strap around his neck. Well, a flag around his neck and a belt around his waist. Final thoughts for you then, Barry Jones. We've got a championship winner there, but what we have learnt this evening is there is a lot of young talent coming out of Kazakhstan. Well,
we've known that for a while, but now all of a sudden they're all starting to get to that level where they're going to start showing the world what they can do. And I mean, a lot of kids tonight step up in levels. Aspinov stepped up in level, delivered. Almost. No, he stepped up and he got caught with a great shot, but up to that point he was in a very competitive fight. Kalukmets, well, he looked world class again tonight. Another world class performance. Not against a world class opponent, but a world class performance. And this young kid here, again, his biggest test against Ronnie Clark, and he won every round. You can't get no better than that.
You certainly can't. Well, Barry, thank you very much for your company this evening, and thank you for your company wherever you are watching around the world. Boxing is back, and it's great to see supporters ringside. Keep your eye on all of MTK's socials to see where you can watch boxing and when you can watch boxing next. If you are anywhere on the planet, it is likely that we'll be bringing a show to you. If you can't make it, then you'll certainly be able to watch it from somewhere on the planet. Ronnie Clark will see some highlights of this final bout, still showing that he has got the athleticism to mix it, and still showing that he can get selected for these title fights as well. As Barry and I spoke about earlier, it'll be fascinating to see what he gets up to next. He was a test for Sultan Zorbek this evening, but Zorbek showed that he can box 10 rounds at his own pace and come out unscathed. He's now 11 victories, 7 of them before the final bell, and a WBO European super featherweight title holder to boot. He was victorious this evening, as was Tursunbay Kulakmet, who stopped Alexei Evchenko in the 10th round. Again, fought the fight at his own pace, got some valuable rounds, and a showbiz stoppage too. Speaking of showbiz stoppages, what about Issa Chaniev, who stopped Nurtas Ashbinov in the 3rd after Ashbinov looked great for 2.5 rounds. Talgat Shaken victorious over Alexander Sharanov. Ivan Dichko with that incredible first round knockout over Denis Baktov. And Dorin Yolesinov won in the 5th round after Arman Rizbek. Didn't come off his stool for the 5th round, but that's the story of the night. Your WBO European super featherweight champion is Sultan Zorbek. And that draws the curtain down from the Balwan Sholak Sports Palace here in Almaty, Kazakhstan. Thank you for joining us, and until next time, goodbye.